भरून घेतो.
भाई तू कहाँ से बात करेगा?
मी लॅपटॉप बरोबर आहे मला, म्हणजे असं मला काही पुढे समोर काही नको काही मला वाटतं
कॅमेऱ्याच्या समोर थांबावं लागेल ना.
वाटले की अनमोल झालं तुम्ही अशा अडचणी तिथं बसा तुम्ही बंद कर बंद कर
अच्छा लाईट ठीक आहे ना कमी आहे त्याच्यात येते का बघ ते लाईट लावायचं का ते
ग्रुपवर टाकले का लिंक ग्रुपवर लिंक टाकले
टाकले सगळ्या ग्रुप
एक माझ्या मित्र त्याला दिलं नसतं
ते रेकॉर्डिंग चालूच झालेलं आहे बंद करू काय
Honorable Shri Satish Bhau Chavan, MLC, Secretary, MSc Mandal Aurangabad, all executive members, MSc Mandal Aurangabad, Principal R.D. Deshmukh Sir, College Development Officer, MSc Mandal Aurangabad, Honorable Shri Jaisingh Bhaiya Solanke, Chief, CDC Dharu, Honorable Shri Lobaji Chavan, Honorable Shri Ajay Singh Dikhat, Member CDC Dharur, Honorable Shri Indrajit Jadhav, Honorable Sri Dr. Ram Shingare, Honorable Professor Mukund Sawant, invited members, CDC Kille-Dharur. I welcome Professor Dr. Jyoti Sharma, who have joined from RR Government PG Auto College, Alwar, Rajasthan. Another resource person which we have Professor Dr. Suresh Gaikwad, Head of the Department, Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad. Another resource person we joined with us, Professor Dr. Sheshnath Bhosle sir, Department of Chemistry, Goa University, Goa. I welcome Principal Dr. Shivdas Sirsat sir, Vice Principal M.A. Jogde sir, and Professor Dr. G.K. Kakade, convener of this webinar. Once again, I welcome all the participants who are joined from the various parts of the country. I request Professor Dr. G.K. Kakade sir to deliver his convener's talk. Professor Dr. G.K. Kakade.
Good morning, everybody. I, myself, Dr. Gopal Kakade, convener of this webinar entitled Chemical Sciences, Perfect Shield for Human Life in Pandemic Era. Friends, we are facing number of problems during this. We have chosen the topic which is present protocol. We all are familiar that in pandemic period how chemistry has played a vital role in saving the lives of human beings. From ancient days, we have seen several pandemics like rabies, cholera, dysentery, malaria, etc. And we have seen that our scientists had proved to their level best and saved crores of lives in whole world. We know that the chemistry, all the chemical sciences has given their contribution in saving the lives, and so in this present pandemic also chemistry has played its vital role, because starting from our date till the end we have all the lifesavers through chemistry. And such a burning topic in this webinar will be discussed by various intellectual persons, resource persons. The participants and budding scholars will be beneficial by this webinar, and very true outcome will come from this webinar. As we know that chemistry or chemical sciences are having a discipline like other sciences, as we consider a quote that chemistry is a subject, or chemical science is a subject whose knowledge is essential for understanding nature as well as for the progress of society. Through this webinar, we want to convey the message that we are practicing chemistry to save human lives in a greener way, and we are also now in approach, and also presently we are doing various experiments to overcome this pandemic era. So I once again welcome and also thankful for joining this webinar, and I request all of you to be connected till the end of this webinar, and be connected also in future also. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. G.K. Kakade. Now I request our principal, Dr. Shivdas Sirsat, to give introductory speech on this occasion, Principal Dr. Shivdas Sirsa.
Good morning, all of you. First of all,
I salute the sacred memory of late Vinayakrauji Patil, late Ramrauji Avargavkar, and late Sundarauji Solanke, founder of Marathwada Shikshan Prasarak Mandals, Arts, Commerce, Science College, Kille-Dharur. Today, I am very happy because this is 7th national online seminar of our college. I am grateful to Honorable MLA Sri Prakash Dada Solanke, President Marathwada Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, Honorable MLC Sri Satish Bhau Chauhan, General Secretary Marathwada Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, CDC member, Chief member, Honorable Sri Jaising Bhaiya Solanke, Honorable Sri Lobaji Chauhan, Honorable Sri Ajay Siya Dikkar, Honorable Sri Mukund Sawant, Honorable Dr. Ram Singare, Honorable Sri Ina Jadhav sir, the office bearers of all the organization have given their best wishes for this national seminar. I also to inaugurator of this webinar, Professor Dr. Jyoti Sharma Madam, keynote speaker, RR Government PG Auto College, Alwar from Rajasthan. Resource person, my friend, Professor Dr. Suresh Gaikwad, Head of Department of Chemistry, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University. Resource person, Professor Dr. Sheshnath Bhosle, Department of Chemistry from Goa University, Goa. I welcome to faculties of different colleges who are participate in the seminar. I give best wishes to organizer of this webinar, convener Dr. G.K. Kakade, co-convener and vice principal Dr. Milind Gaikwad, vice principal M.A. Jogde, and also handling the technical side of this online seminar, Professor Gopal Sagar and Professor Ananta Gade. It is the important day for us today that we have hosted the online one-day national seminar on chemical science, a perfect shield for human life in pandemic era. Chemistry has a key role of play understanding everything from viral structure to pathogenesis, isolation of vaccines and theories, as well as in the development of material and techniques used basic researcher, virologist and clinics over the past century. Innovations in synthetic chemistry have greatly enabled the discovery and development of important life-changing medicine, improving the health of patients worldwide. Chemical science is essential for our basic needs. Clothing, shelter, health, energy, and clean air, water, and fertile soil. Chemistry is often referred to as the central science because it joins together physics, mathematics, biology, and medicine, and the earth and environmental sciences. Carrying the hand sanitizer with you wherever you go is always a good idea. You can keep your hands clean and germ free with just a drop or two of your sanitizer. You will come across a wide range of products. Some of them are alcohol based hand sanitizer, while a few are made using organic ingredients Dettol sanitizer, Lifebuoy sanitizer, and Himalaya and sanitizer are some of the example. No doubt, scientists, researchers, doctors are working day and night to prepare vaccine against the coronavirus. Nearly 70 drugs that may be effective against COVID-19. I sure that there will be fruitful discussion, sharing of knowledge about the burning issues coronavirus in this webinar. Once again, welcome and thank you once again. Thank you of office bears, eminent personalities, participating faculties, students in this online seminar. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Principal Dr. Shivdas Sirsat sir, for giving an introductory talk on this occasion. Now, I request Professor Dr. Jyoti Sharma, who is joined from RR Government PG Autonomous College, Alwar, Rajasthan, who is delivering keynote address, and her title of her topic is Chemistry and Pandemic. Before to start her talk, I introduce to her. She is a Board of Study chairperson. She is Board of Study chairperson of RRBM University. She is referee in several national and international journals. 2 books are able guidance. She is examining for evaluation of PhD thesis and MPhil thesis. She has published 54 papers in various national and international journals. She is acted as a chairperson and keynote speaker in various conferences. She is a coordinator for pre-PhD cell and coursework in RRBM University. With this brief introduction, I request Professor Dr. Jyoti Sharma to deliver keynote address. Please, Professor Dr. Jyoti Sharma, please proceed.
Thank you, sir. All the dignitaries, Dr. Kille-Dharur, Principal, Dr. M.N. Gaikwad, Co-Convener and Vice Principal, Dr. G.K. Kakri, Convener and Head, Mr. Zogari, Mr. S.T. Gaikwad, Dr. S. Bhosle, management persons, and all others who have joined this webinar today. I'm really thankful to all these persons for making me as a keynote speaker. Here or on our webinar to discuss about the topic chemical science, a perfect shield for human life in the pandemic era. To begin with, I would like to say that what is this? Today we are joining the webinar. Is it not the technical part, or is it not a miracle of science that has made us possible to do the conference in this form or in the digital form? So this is the tradition, this is the technological development, and this was due to the pandemic COVID-19. To begin my talk, I would like to say that the topic of my talk is chemistry and COVID-19. How chemistry, although some of the speakers have already told the importance.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes,
There is some difficulty in listening your noise. There is some disturbances in your mic.
In noise? Acha, mic.
Ma'am, please put
Now
your
see?
mic away from you.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Now it's okay.
Now it's
Now
right?
it's okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Is it audible now, no? Right,
Yes.
sir? Should I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
then. Okay, thank you so much. This lecture is chemistry and COVID-19. However, what I had said earlier was that because of the COVID-19, we are all organizing webinar. Otherwise, we would have organized a conference or seminar and we would have gathered together at one place. Because of this COVID-19, we are organizing the webinar and still we are sharing everything. Is it not the miracle of science that I wanted to say? It is a miracle of science. However, as I am a chemistry person, I love chemistry, I respect chemistry, and I enjoy chemistry. And what I feel is that chemistry is in everything around us and it is also within us. Without chemistry, nothing is possible, and we would not have been able to eradicate the covalent 19 in this part. In this part. So now I would like to share my slides. Okay, just please open this share. Can you share the slides, please? Please share the
Yes,
slides.
ma'am. 1 minute.
Yeah. Because it is unshared. Well, I will begin my talk. As soon as you share it, then you let me know.
Yes.
Please share your screen, ma'am.
Share screen. Okay. Can you share it now? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
तुमचा माईक राहू दे, तुम्हीच instruction द्या फक्त.
This is the first slide. Chemistry and chemicals is fundamental for understanding life. All living matter is made of chemicals in pure or in compounded form. As we all are chemistry people and we have gathered at this place, this is the periodic table, and in this periodic table, we are having 118 elements. Among these 118 elements, only 92 elements are naturally occurring elements. Some of them are biologically important elements, for example, sodium, calcium, potassium, etc. Among these naturally occurring elements, at least 25 of them are essential for our lives. It has elements like carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, and nitrogen make 96% of all the living matter. Now the remaining 4% which is left out remaining 4% which is left out carries calcium, phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, sodium, chlorium, magnesium, and other trace elements. These trace elements are also very important elements and they are needed in very low quantities, but they are absolutely essential for the sustenance of life processes. Why? Because they are involved in many metabolic reactions and they act as a cofactor in our enzymatic reactions which our body undergoes. Now here the chemistry which is present in everyday life, how we are using the chemicals or the chemical substances in each and everyday life. This is certain examples in which all fields.
Sorry
So
for
I
the
will just introduce you to this field with some of the examples. Right from the animals, plants and humans, all of our food is composed of large number of chemical compounds. And these chemical compounds produce us or provide us with energy. That is carbohydrates, vitamins, proteins, fats, minerals, etc. All these are chemical compounds with a perfect structure and a perfect formula. Some of them have got medicinal values, and if they are not in proper quantities
Madam,
or they are
madam,
not a proper this thing, then
excuse me, madam.
we can, yeah.
Please put your mic away from your mouth, madam. Just it is blurring. Sound is blurring.
Now just see.
Yes, yes, it is clear now.
Ah,
Just keep it away from your mouth, madam.
okay.
Thank you.
This side, है ना? हाँ. Okay, thank you so much. These are chemical compounds and also have medicinal values. In fact, all the biological molecules are composed of the chemical compounds. I'm just introducing you to the chemistry of these compounds. Now, these are the type of nutrients and the sources from where we get these nutrients. All these are the daily used things or daily used materials which we can see and they are very easily available. Among the hygienes, we have got soap and detergents and other products like paint, varnish, steel, various engineering goods, including cement and the sand, which is used for the construction material. All these are used almost every day and they too are chemical and everything comes under the science of chemistry. This is the fossil fuels. These fossil fuels which we use for our transportation and various other purposes. If we see the composition of this, essentially they are composed of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, oxygen, and minerals. So we cannot avoid chemistry or chemicals in any or other form. The ink with which we write, the paper we use for printing, pencils, color, rubber, etc. All of these are the chemical compounds. This is another very important use of the chemicals, that is as preservatives. We store our food for a longer time. Grocery people need longer shelf life for the many food items in their stores. So for storing all these substances or the food items, we use preservatives, and these preservatives too are none the less chemical compounds. For feeding such a large amount of population and to increase the agricultural products, we need certain chemicals that is called
1 minute,
as or
madam.
they are named as
Madam, 1 minute.
fertilizers. And to protect our product,
Madam, please keep your mouth and make a big noise.
now you see,
Yes.
can you hear?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, madam.
Okay. Okay, I'll remove this and then I'll speak. To increase the product or agricultural product, we need fertilizers, and to protect our these agricultural products from various insects, mosquitoes, etc. We need pesticide, insecticide, weedicide, rodenticide, etc. And it is very apparent that these chemicals have made our life possible and comfortable, as well as we are able to feed such a large population nowadays very easily. But you know all about the toxicity of these pesticides and insecticides. And nowadays, we also know that these pesticides and insecticides, when they are used in a very large amount or in a huge amount, then they are causing dangerous diseases like cancer. So they can act as toxic substances also, or toxic chemicals also. They are responsible for toxicity in our body as well as in the environment, which comes under the heading pollution. Generally, we call this as pollution. Now, how to minimize this toxic effect of the chemistry? Then we have got the chemistry that is called as medicinal chemistry, or where the drugs are used. In pharmacology, a drug is a chemical substance typically of a known structure, which has got a structure which is known to us, and which when administered to a living organisms gives a positive biological effect. What do you mean by positive biological effect? It means that the way in which we want it to act, it acts in that direction. For example, a person who is suffering from fever, we just give him paracetamol. In COVID-19 also we give paracetamol to resist the fever. In this case, if we give a drug, it has to reduce the fever and not to show any other property, allergic or any side effect. So that is called as positive biological effect. However, these drugs are different from the food and the nutritional support, that is nutrient supplements which we take. The very easy way of this drug is that we can administer it in any way. We have got various ways of administration, that is either through inhalation or through ingestion, smoking, ingestion, absorption through patch on the skin, or dissolution under the tongue. These are the various ways through which the drugs can be administered. Now in chemistry, there is a very Very wonderful molecule, I call it. It is the basis of life. It is the software of life. If there is a life, there is a DNA in it. DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. It is the fundamental molecule of life. All the genetic information, and in COVID-19 also it is playing a very much important role. Why? Because the genes which are present in these DNA, they can undergo mutation. What do you mean by mutation? Mutation is the changes in the structure of DNA or the genes which are present on it, and this enables them to create new species. You must be knowing that this virus is continuously undergoing mutation and it is changing its species from one form to the other form. So we are not able to find out which form is existing today. So this mutation is repeatedly, continuously going on, and because of this mutation, and we are not able to detect it properly. Now, what does this DNA is made up of? We are not going to discuss about the structure, but the basic structure of DNA has got three most important particles in it. That is a base. It is made up of a base, which is carbon base, sugar, and phosphate. I know that this sugar itself is a chemical compound, and you all also know that the phosphate is also a chemical compound. So for understanding the mutations which are going on in the DNA, we will have to study about the structure and the basis of the nucleotide. Now this is RNA. It is a close relation. It is in fact called as a primitive ancestor of DNA. It is close cousin. We just call it as a close cousin of DNA. Primitive in the sense that it is not as developed as DNA. RNA can't run life form on its own. That's why it is called as primitive. And it is figured that RNA can replicate itself in the lab without the help of any proteins or other cellular machinery. These two molecules are very important, and we are going to talk about them in the pandemic or in the coronavirus whenever we study about the coronavirus. So at present, the food we eat, the air we breathe, the water we drink, the three sustainable entities for our living beings, means all for the essential for the life, and all are related to chemistry and the chemical sciences. So it is quite apparent that chemicals have made our life possible and made us comfortable as well. In fact, chemistry forms the very good root of life. Without chemicals, we would not be where we are today. It is always truly said that we should see only the positive part, although we cannot ignore the negative part. So let us talk about the positive part instead of the negative part of chemical science. Now here comes the pandemic. We all are facing it today, and the number is increasing day by day. From where it began, when a new illness surfaced in Wuhan, I'm emphasizing on new illness. In China in December 2019, medical staff reported it and tracked the source to a specific market. They soon provided the key medical information about the virus, followed by the authorities pursuing a pathway of misinformation and information suppression. This was very alarming. They made claims that the situation is under control and ignored alerts from the health workers. Who were the health workers who made us alert about this disease? First of all, it was I Feng, the director of one of hospital's emergency department in Wuhan. He just reported it, but he was rebuked and silenced for trying to raise concern about the new diseases in December 19. Followed by Li Wenlian, a Wuhan ophthalmologist. He also tried to get a word out during the same month, but he was also suppressed by the authorities to keep quiet. And very sad, in February 2020, he succumbed to this disease that is COVID-19. Epidemiological data and genetic sequence analysis show that many of these coronavirus strains, they might date back or they were existing earlier also, and that was 5000 BCE or even earlier than that. But many of them originated in animal host. Now we are linking it to that of the bats. These viruses have undergone several mutations. That is the mutation term which we use, and this mutation takes place in the DNA molecule. To study the mutation, we will have to find out, or we will have to study about the DNA or RNA. So they have undergone a large number of mutations, and they have exchanged hosts several times before transferring it to the human beings. Now, when it has come to the human beings, what is the reason how it has come to the human beings? Are the changing climatic conditions responsible, or increasing pollution is responsible, or modernization in any way is responsible for transferring these mutations and exchanging the host, which ultimately has come and resulted or has resided in humans? So these all conditions are still unknown, and today we can call it as a new virus. Why the virus is a new virus? Although it existed several years ago, but we call it as new because the world has never seen this particular virus before. Neither the virus had seen human beings before. That is, it was having other hosts, but the human beings are attacked for the first time. It appears that the virus has transferred to humans from an animal host, that is bad, by acquiring several mutations. Officially, we named it is called as SARS-CoV-2, and informally it is called as coronavirus. Although it is a respiratory disease which we have diagnosed it, but still recently it has been shown that it also affects the nervous system. Now let us know something about the novel coronavirus. A novel coronavirus is a strain of coronavirus which was not reported previously in humans. However, broadly it can be divided into two types based upon the genome or the genetic material which it has, that is DNA viruses or RNA viruses. This genetic material enables the virus to hijack the host cellular machinery and synthesize the proteins critical for its survival. This is the diagram which depicts the different hosts which it was earlier having, and finally now the human being is the final host with certain mutations which we can see here. This is the structure of the coronavirus. As we all are aware nowadays that this coronavirus, the name was derived from the Latin corona, meaning crown. That means this virus is having a crown-like structure, and it is basically made up of proteins. It has got several layers. The outer layer, which is spike, that is also a proteinaceous layer. Then it has got another envelope, which is E, a membrane, and finally the nucleoprotein, where the RNA resides and where the mutations are continuously taking place. So here lies the problem, because we are having a new virus as well as we are having an enemy that we cannot see, that we do not know much about, and we don't know how to fight against the enemy. Now what can we do here, and how the science can save us? The only way to study and learn more about it is that we have to find out what this virus wants, or what does it does in order to survive, and if it survives, where its weaknesses are, or summaringly we can say that what is the behavior of this new enemy to us. At present we think that we know a lot we have got a lot of information about this virus, but still we are blind, and we are not aware, or we are not acquainted with it completely. Otherwise we would have found out a vaccine or some medications to abolish it. The first question, what it wants. We all know at present that the virus cannot survive by itself. It needs a viable host. Hence, the virus always looks for the environment where it can thrive, even if it comes at the cost of its ability to cause a disease. The very first step was to identify the process through which the virus spreads, whether it is an airborne, it is a bloodborne, or does it spread through some other means. So knowing the answer, this was critical to limit its spreads. What findings we have got at present is that clinical data and epidemiological study have established that this COVID-19 spreads from person to person either or through water droplets from the patient's cough or the nasal discharge. This slide depicts about how it spreads. We have got through cough, through sneeze, personal contact, contaminated objects if we touch them, and through mass gathering. Now, what are the symptoms of this virus? The symptoms of these viruses are either fever, chills, shortness of breath, sore throat, fatigue, aches, congestion or runny nose, nausea, diarrhea, loss of sense of smell and taste, rashes and inflammation, particularly in small children. However, the people are generally misled because these symptoms are very nearly, or truly we can say, the symptoms are very near to that of the normal viral fever or to the normal flu. So what if we have certain and these sorts of symptoms, what we have to do the next thing? The next thing is to diagnose it. How to diagnose it or how to analyze it. At present, we have got three basic methods for analyzing or diagnosing diagnostic tests. The first is that of RT-PCR. With this method, which is called as reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction, it is a fast, scientific method for detecting COVID-19, and it is also a very cost-effective method. Very recently, a targeted gene editing technique is also has been developed. That is also very sensitive and it is much faster than RT-PCR technique. Rapid diagnostic test detecting the presence of antibodies. This is generally called as antibody test, which is also called as plasma therapy. Now, this antibody test or detection methods can only confirm whether a person has ever encountered the virus, but it does not necessarily reflect the presence of the present infectious status of the individual. See here the effect, it not only affects the respiratory system, the recent discoveries are that it also affects the nervous system, the problems in the brain, neurological disorders. This is the effect on the brain, encephalopathy, that is encephalitis and blood clots which may lead to the stroke. Then there is a syndrome which is called as Guillain-Barré syndrome. This is a rare disorder in which our body's immune system is being attacked. So once the immune system is no result or there is no drug to survive or to overcome this COVID-19. So these are the recent discoveries which were made now. Now, where does its weaknesses lie? If we know the weaknesses, then we may be able to discover a drug or a vaccine or a medicine. So what approach we have to apply? We will need a defense and attack approach. Not a simple approach, but a defense and attack approach is necessary for eradicating this deadly pathogen. An effective and successful offensive approach, which we have to formulate, and we have to use it on both preventive as well as treatment strategy. Then only we will be able to fight the SARS-CoV-19 virus. Now, the first approach is to find out the drug that can stop the virus entering the cell. And secondly, when it has entered the cell, then how it replicates there. What is the process of replication? If we block these two sites, then half of the war is won. And the third approach, the researchers, what they are investigating is that whether the previously obtained drugs or the drugs in the markets, can they be able to commercially target the COVID-19 and to subside it. This is the update. Although this update is a little older, over 4.9 million confirmed cases of COVID-19 were reported, with more than 3 lakhs confirmed deaths. But still, there is a hope for within a grave. And the positive part is that 1.9 million people have recovered from this dangerous disease. Now, how does this help us? All those recovered peoples, they have got antibodies in their bloodstream. So we have got a plasma bank, or we can say that we have got a bank through which antibodies bank, and using these antibodies bank, we can cure or we can recover those people who are suffering or fighting against this infection at present. These are certain highlights, although we are not going to discuss it. This is the Indian situation, which was yesterday's situation. Confirmed 1.29 million, they were diagnosed with this disease. Recovered person 817,000, death 601. And if we see which state is most affected, really it is very sad that Maharashtra, with the highest confirmed infected person, 348,000 persons are infected, followed by Tamil Nadu, then Delhi, Chennai, and Mumbai. So the situation is really alarming, and we as scientists or we as chemists have got a very great role in abolishing or in helping to abolish this, or at least if we are not able to abolish it, to prevent it or to cure it. Now what happens if a person suppose suffers from this disease and he is detected with coronavirus? The first thing what we have to do, that he should not get panicked, because the only remedy for this is not, the drugs will also not help so much as his self-confidence and his immune system. So he should not panic, and he should maintain a regular diet, sleeping pattern, because it is found out that if we get enough sleep, then the T cells in one's body increases, and these T cells in the body, they are responsible for the immune system. It's quite but natural that the person will feel sad, stressed, and confused. One should not never get stressed while getting infected with this disease. So what is the remedy? He should talk to the person, or the person's other in family members, etc., can talk to him and can release his stress as by giving him moral support. We should keep on going on our physical activities as we were doing it before, because the physical activities not only decreases the weight, but it also allows the body to function at a more optimal level. It also increases the white blood cells and the antibodies in the bloodstream, which helps the blood or the body to fight against any disease. Physical activity mitigates the release of hormones which are associated with stress, so they release anti-stress hormones. Along with that, it is also said that the body's temperature increases and this helps or this prevents the growth of bacteria. Exercise also releases a feel-good hormone endorphin, which helps boost the people's attitudes towards life, and they start thinking in the positive way. This depicts the normal routine which was following before the disease. The prevention methods, as all of us know, we should wash our hands regularly, wear masks, do not touch here and there, and maintain a social distancing, which are shown in this. Now, this is the role of chemistry in combating or mitigating COVID-19. We have got a large number of products in industries, or we produce industrial products, and in the industrial products, if we go monetarily, we find that 5.7 trillion dollars is the enterprises, and this chemical industries touches nearly all aspects of the world's economy. Almost 96% of all manufactured goods rely on chemistry and its formula. The role of chemistry in pandemic time, we can say that it can play in three ways. We have to make countless products that will be needed to treat those who are infected with coronavirus in weeks and months ahead. These products can be in the form of any medicine, any drug, or in any other vaccine, etc. Secondly, we have to take into care of the safety and healthcare workers who are working with our near COVID-19 patients. So we have to produce certain personal and protective equipments. And lastly, we ourselves will have to maintain a good hygiene, sanitation, and cleaning in all our surrounding as well as in our houses. So all these chemical compounds will help in reducing at least or in preventing the COVID-19 from spreading. Now these are disinfectant, as already my earlier speakers have told about these disinfectant, which are used in household as well as industrial scale. The most popular disinfectant nowadays, which is sodium hypochlorite, which is being used largely in a large scale. These are all chemical biocides and disinfectants. All the surgical instruments like syringes and IV components, scissors, knives, etc., they are also made up of common chemical, which is polypropylene and other polycarbonates. So they are the chemical compounds. Polyvinyl chloride, which is also used, it is also a chemical, it is a polymer, and it is used for making the medical tubing, blood, and IV components or bags of the medical instrument. Other protective measures or equipments which are nowadays used, just like shield, gowns, gloves, masks, etc., they are also made up of polypropylene. Sanitizer bottles and dispensers, they are also made of polypropylene. Why I am giving all these examples is that where the chemistry is helping us, because in each and every of these disinfectant or antiseptic or any sanitizers, everywhere there is chemistry involved. This is the personal hygienic products including diapers, soaps, alcohol, hand sanitizer, toothpaste, etc. All are the chemical compounds. So ultimately what we can decide is that chemicals are necessary to produce not only to industrialize food and fertilizers and protect crops, but it is also essential for having our potable water so as to reduce the infection. Range of chemicals serve as ingredients in the over-the-counter and the prescription medication. Packaging and hygienic sanitation, one-time use materials like water bottles, etc., are also made up of chemical compounds. And nowadays, the building materials, which are energy efficient, have got hygienic. Scientists are doing research in this field so as to construct safe and secure hospital, which must be disease free or which must be ready for the pandemic use. Now, what experience we have got from the life after COVID-19, what we are going to see or how we are going to imagine it. First and foremost is that in the past few months, we have dealt with this pandemic. We have got educated us. We have discovered some innovative solutions to limit the spread of this virus. And we have also presented affordable diagnostic strategies. In addition to this, we have begun to learn or to coexist with this virus in a long time because it is not going to be eradicated very soon. So we have naturally and gradually changed our lifestyle in many ways, and we are getting it ready, pandemic ready or pandemic accustomed to this pandemic so as to reduce our risk from contamination or from getting infected. The recent discovery that I had learned from this thing Google, that railways are ensuring safer journey. How they are ensuring? In Kapurthala Rail Coach Factory, they are designing new coaches. And in these two important chemical compounds, that is copper coated and second is titanium dioxide. So now the coaches will be equipped with copper coated wash basins and so that when the virus lands on that, the virus doesn't have much lifetime on this surface. In the same way, titanium dioxide, which will be used on wash basins, laboratory berths, etc., so as to reduce the contact time. In this field itself, to reduce the contact or personal contacts with each other, the restaurant people are also, as well as railways, are now generating tickets, and restaurant people are generating menus in the form of QR codes so that it can be a contactless menu card or contactless tickets, railway tickets. Apart from this, some of the owners of the restaurants, to gain the trust among the customers, they are using open kitchens so that they can see so that the customer can see that the food is handled with the highest hygienic standard and other safety measures which are going to get digital. So nowadays we are going to get digital. This is another slide showing social distancing, or that is contactless. This one, partitions are present here, and saloons also now the partitions they have made to get so that the equipment can be germ free, or we can minimize the contact with this with each other. So we are getting ready with that of the COVID-19. These are sanitizer tunnels. Nowadays they are installed in every hospitals, in malls, and in school colleges also. They are now preparing to install these. So we are getting accustomed to this, and we are trying to open a front against the COVID-19. Lastly, the most powerful message that has come out of all this is that human race is capable of presenting a united front against a crisis, in spite of whatever color, creed, geographical, racial, or religious borders may exist. We all are fighting against this globally, not regionally. So, with a species so determined, we have got a species which is so determined, so stubborn to persist, a minuscule virus will not be able to defeat us so easily. And before ending, I would like to put a question before all of you, that is it possible to eradicate this COVID-19 of chemical sciences, particularly chemistry? Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for giving a nice talk on chemistry and pandemic. Dr. Jyoti Sharma has delivered a nice talk on the chemistry in our everyday life. She has also given detailed information about COVID-19, how the precautions that has been taken against COVID-19, and how the drugs, they plays a vital role against this COVID-19. So thank you, ma'am, for giving a nice talk. Now this talk is open for discussion, and the participants are requested to write your questions and any doubts in the chat box. This topic is open for discussion, please. I hope there is no any doubt or any question about this talk. Now, ma'am, please disconnect your mic, please. Thank you, madam, for delivering the nice talk. Now, I request Professor Dr. Suresh Gaikwad, sir, please join with us. Dr. Gaikwad, sir. Yes, it is.
Sir, I have already joined.
That's okay. Thank you, sir. So second resource person is with us, Professor Dr. Suresh Gaikwad, sir, who is the head Department of Chemistry, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Aurangabad. I am introducing him within 5 minutes. He was the director of student Welfare and Pre-IS Coaching Center at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada. He was Control of Examination, Registrar, Director of BCUD, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad. He was member of Board of Studies, Swami Ramanand Tirth Marathwada University, Nanded, and member of RRC, Kavitri Bainabai Chaudhary, North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon. He has got the awards Vishwa Nayak Kranti Prerna Puraskar, New Delhi, Guru Gaurav Award, International Rotary Club, Aurangabad, Devang Mehta National Education Award, Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam International Award, Most Fabulous Professor Award by Vellore HRD Congress 2020, Mumbai. He has presented 51 papers in various national and international conferences. He has published 75 research papers in peer-reviewed national and international journals. He has delivered invited lectures in various conferences, refresher course and orientation course. Here, under his able guidance, 5 students are awarded PhD degree and 8 students are working still under his able guidance. So such an eminent personality is with us. So I request Professor Dr. Suresh Gaikwad sir to deliver his talk, and the title of his talk is Role of Chemical Sciences Against Pandemic Era. Please, Professor Dr. Gaikwad, Suresh sir, please proceed on.
Thank you, Dr. Milind Gaikwad, for a nice introduction on this occasion. As we are gathered here online for a national webinar on chemical sciences, a perfect shield for human life in pandemic era, which is being organized by Department of Chemistry, MSP Mandals, Arts, Commerce and Science College, Kille-Dharur, District Bid. So for organizing this national webinar, very applicable topic, for this conference, we have respected principal of this college and chief organizer of this conference, Principal Dr. Shivdas Sirsat sir, convener and head, Department of Chemistry of Arts, Commerce and Science College, Kille-Dharur, Dr. G.K. Kakde, co-convener and vice principal of this college, Dr. M.N. Gaikwad, just now who has introduced me, vice principal Mr. M.A. Zogde, and behind this organizing team, there is a management, Honorable Sri Prakash Solanke, MLA, from my constituency, that is Dharur Majalgaon, ex-state minister of Maharashtra state, and at present president of MS Mandal Aurangabad, Honorable Sri Satish Chauhan, MLC, Secretary of MSP Mandal Aurangabad, Honorable Sri Jai Singh Solanke, who is the chief member of College Development Committee, Arts, Commerce, Science College, Dharur. Respected College Development Committee, Professor Mukund Sawant, Dr. Ram Chingare, Sri Indrajit Jadhav, Sri Ajay Singh Dikhat, Sri Lobaji Chauhan. Deliberately, I am taking their names because I am from that place. My native place is Dharur Taluka, and I am very happy to share my views or interact with you on this particular dais. Just now, we have listen Dr. Jyoti Sharma, who is the head Department of Chemistry, Government Raj Rishi Auto PG College, Alwar, Rajasthan, as a keynote speaker, and we all enjoyed her lecture. It was very informative and very applicable in this particular scenario. Another one guest will be with us, that is Professor Dr. Sheshnath Bhosle, who is a professor in School of Chemical Sciences, Goa University, Goa. And all the participants, those who have joined for this webinar, I welcome you all for this webinar. I express my sincere gratitude to the organizers for inviting me as one of the resource person for this national webinar, because it's an institution of my native place. So obviously it's my immense pleasure to have interaction with you all on this occasion. Friends, since 4 months, we all, it means all the nations, all, or we can say whole world, is under very crucial impact of COVID-19 pandemic. Every field of life, every walk of life is having a very adverse impact on COVID-19, which is due to particularly the coronavirus. When we look to the topic of today's webinar, that is specially concentrated on the role of, or we can say significance of chemical sciences, which is very applicable field to act as a perfect shield for human life against pandemic era. And obviously this issue, no doubt, because we all, particularly the fraternity of chemistry, are performing our duties. I cannot say duties, but our responsibilities in all respect at every individual's level. As we have listened right now, the keynote address by Dr. Jyoti Sharma, and we get realized that without chemistry, to combat any type of such a type of crisis is just impossible to overcome, or to beat such a type of pandemics, it is just impossible without chemistry. You might have gone through very seriously her presentation, and she tried her level best to put before us the significance or role of chemistry, role of chemical sciences in our daily life. And we can get realized right from morning to evening, we are 100%, we can say, associated with chemistry, different type of chemicals. When we get early in the morning, we are finding toothpaste, we are finding brush for cleaning our teeth. We are searching soap for bathing. It means at each and every moment of life, we are in need of chemistry. Without chemistry, we cannot proceed. Even at the time of sleeping, we remember good night mat or a particular mat to resist the mosquitoes. And we can protect from mosquitoes. So we'll have to use some types of chemicals, maybe odomas, maybe different type of liquids, or maybe any type of mat. In this way, just I want to put before you the significance of chemistry is just unavoidable, because without chemistry we cannot proceed. And one thing I will have to put before you, we all are aware about the long form of periodic table. Out of that number of elements, 118, around 65 to 70 elements are the essential elements for performing different type of biological system in the body of human being. Not only human being, but also in plant life. So that we can get realized if 60-70% elements are already existed and which are considered as essential elements. So that obviously in every field of life, without chemistry, we cannot proceed. And that is the main conclusion webinar, as they are expecting that what is the applications, what is the significance, and what is the role of chemical sciences to combat such a type of pandemic era. So that's why this particular topic is very applicable in this present scenario of this era or pandemic era. Particularly, we are suffering from this COVID-19, that is the having a cause of coronavirus. And as I am saying that, particularly the chemistry fraternity, what they are performing their duties, what they are having responsibilities. And as per my view, every person of chemistry, every person of chemical sciences, they are performing in the form of counseling of students. Because at present you see very affected group of student is there, because they are having a fear when academic calendar will start, what is about their examinations, what will be about their careers. So this type of very basic problem they are in front of them, and that's why the counseling of students, at least our students to whom we are teaching in classroom, but months they are not associated with us, but they are associated with us online only. So whenever it is possible, every teacher, every fraternity of chemistry, they are trying their level best to counsel the students fraternity by counseling them on telephone, by mobile, or by any way in the form of e-conferencing, e-motivation. And we are, we can say, transforming up to them how precautionary measure to be taken to protect from this coronavirus or COVID-19. So this type of responsibility we are performing. And another one thing we are deliberately doing to perform or to transform them, at least very important aspects which had already spoken by earlier speaker also, but that is use of mask, physical distancing, sanitization continuously, maintaining hygiene, maintaining cleaning. So these are very important things. And if we are following all these 3, 4, 5 principles, so definitely you will be protected from this particular pandemic or COVID-19 or coronavirus. If we are taking care of all these things, so you will be free from this particular problem. And this is very required to beat or to combat corona or to beat COVID-19. And this crisis, which is worldwide and which one is unpredictable, we can call it as a pandemic. Why? Actually, it is very necessary to define pandemic once again. Because why it is called as pandemic? A pandemic is defined as an or over a very wide area, crossing international boundaries and usually affecting a large number of people. So this is the correct definition of pandemic. And many types of diseases we are suffering many times, that is seasonal epidemics, but these are not called, or this is not considered as a pandemic. We can call it as a epidemics. The novel coronavirus from which the world is suffering at present, that is COVID-19, cases have been confirmed in large number of countries, most of the countries, we can say 100% countries in the world, due to which the World Health Organization, which were called as a, in short, WHO, on 11th of March of 2020 has characterized COVID-19 as a pandemic. And that's why we are calling this particular disease or this particular, in Marathi, we can call it as a Mahamari or pandemic. So Mahamari is the meaning in Marathi of pandemic. And they have recommended large number of preventive measures. How can we protect from this particular crisis? And which includes, again, I repeat, the washing of hands continuously by soap or by sanitizer, covering one's mouth when coughing or sneezing. At the time of coughing or sneezing, one should use the mouth cover, or we can call it as a mask, maintaining physical distancing from other people, wearing a face mask in public setting, and monitoring and self-isolation for people who suspect they are infected. So at least we'll have to take the care from suspected or infected people. Authorities, it means maybe a government authorities, maybe a bureaucrats, maybe a hospital authorities, who responded by implementing travel restrictions. They are uh, uh, concentrating on this particular issue to ban on the traveling, lockdowns, workplaces, hazard controls, and facility closures. Many places have also worked to uh, testing capacity, or to increase the testing capacity and trace contact of infected persons. So this has happened at each and every level, even at taluka place, district place, or divisional place, and state level, national level. It is going on continuously, and we are facing the problem since 4 months. We are suffering sometimes 144 rule, or sometimes lockdown, sometimes local authority implemented some other rules at as per the need of that local area. And according to this particular situation, the people like us, or a common person, they may have lot of questions regarding the COVID-19 or coronavirus in a mind, and it is arises, it is obvious. Sometimes suffering from headache, so that person is under pressure, and he is thinking whether I am suffering from corona or not, or COVID-19 or not. Sometimes little bit fever is there, so that person is also under depression. May I maybe myself suffer from this corona disease? Then it may be suffered. It may be transfusion from faces, transfusion from food, vegetables, fruits. Sometimes somebody says that it can be cured if we are consuming some alcohol, but it is not true. So such a type of very crucial type of questions, or very critical type of questions, arises in mind of human being. But whatever the health department or government authorities, they are giving the solutions and they are giving the preventive measures. So it is very necessary, or it is a time to follow only that particular preventive measures, not this type of questions in mind, and get realized that somebody is suffering from this coronavirus or COVID-19. Now, one thing I want to put before you regarding the history of pandemic. If you have put the name of your title is the chemical sciences a perfect shield on pandemic era. Pandemic era means we'll have to look into history also. Even before Christ, or we can say 5000 BC or 500 BC, or that particular number BC, such a type of diseases were there on world level. And in general, if we look into the history or concentrate on such a type of pandemics, so everyone will get realized that this is not the first time. COVID-19 pandemic is not the first time pandemic, and which is spread over the world. But in even 9000 BC, there was a transmission of diseases, and that is from animal to human. Even in 430 BC, there was a, or up to 165 BC, there was a spread of smallpox, and that is in the era of Roman Empire. Then in 541, in this particular year, there was a bubonic plague. You might be remember in history, you might be read some. This was also from one type of empire. Then world suffered a lot in a particular situation due to a disease leprosy, ज्याला आपण महारोग म्हणतो किंवा कुष्ठरोग म्हणतो, and that was due to bacterial disease. Even after that, if we look to the diseases, sometimes such a type of diseases are called as Black Death, and it is due to the Black Sea and particularly the plague. So it initiated in the country Poland and Hungary, and you will surprise 100 million, 200 million people were died due to this particular disease or this particular pandemics. Even by smallpox, 1,500 million people were died that time. In year 1700, there was a yellow fever. That was also one of the very dangerous pandemic, and it needs to eradicate from this particular required 200 years. 200 years were required to come out from. Even in 1768, smallpox was there, but every time the fraternity of science, fraternity of technology, they have tried their level best and to produce a particular medicine, drug, or in the form of vaccine to cure from that disease. And that's why we can say at every stage, every walk of life, whenever there is a crisis, whenever there is a pandemic, chemical sciences and these biotechnologies, they have tried their level best. They have taken a lot of efforts to come out the situation from that particular pandemic scenario, and they tried their level best to produce the medicine as well as drug as well as vaccine. And we all are aware in the our after born child. So generally in India, 3-4 types of vaccines were taking to the newborn baby. So due to that, it is said that many times the Indians having a good immunity, maybe by taking BCG, maybe taking by polio oral or some other MMR type of vaccine is there. So we have already taken this particular type of vaccines, and due to that vaccine, we Indians, particularly you can say, a nice immunity to resist even such a type of corona virus also. You might be remember in 1817 there was a pandemic of cholera. Everybody knows what type of situation was there, and that was also bacterial infection. And this is the disease, very severe disease actually, and symptoms was vomiting and diarrhea, very severe vomiting, severe diarrhea, and result is death. Then even 1855, again there was a bubonic plague. This is actually a pandemic cycle. Then in 1914, 11 to 14, 10 million people were died. Due to why? That is also the reason behind that is one of the pandemics, and that is influenza. Influenza, known as the Spanish flu, we can say, because it was initiated and most of the people were died from Spanish or Spain. That's why it is called as Spanish. Even we should not forget the enemies or the crisis of HIV in 1957, even up to 1964, also again initiated by the animal, that is chimpanzee, to the human being. And in 2005, 30 lakh people were died up to 2005 due to this particular disease. 30 lakhs of people were died. And even though we are having a preventive measures, we are having a medicine, but even though this particular number of death is very maximum or quantum is very more. And in 2009, there was a SARS-CoV-2. Earlier speaker, they have announced about this SARS and how we can come out of that particular pandemic or that particular crisis by preparing medicine, by preparing drugs, and by preparing vaccines. So we came out from SARS-CoV-2, and that is also initiated from the Wuhan state of China, and globally it was spread out. And as on today, in right from March to 2020, we are suffering from this pandemic, that is COVID-19 coronavirus. Just I put before you the figures. Which figures? The number of people, number of person died due to a diseases. Just for introduction, plague, many million people were died. Even cholera, 100,000 people. It means 1 lakh people were died. Then malaria, 500,000 people were died. Leprosy, 300,000 people were died. So HIV, 500,000 people were died. So this number is not less number. My point of putting before you is this corona or this COVID-19 is not the pandemic which is coming first time. So in history, if you look very seriously, and I want to put before you these 3-4 steps, and it is said that after every 100 years, such a type of crisis is happened. And in the form of COVID-19, this one is fourth in the last 400 years. So if we look to 1720, then in 400 years, there is a cycle of crisis after 100 years. 1720, in the year, plague was there, and which is initiated from Marseille, that is from France. 1 lakh people died in the world, and that figure is 20% of the people approximately were died from the world population. After a few months, from the same disease, due to this pandemic, 50,000 people were died, and within 2 years after that, 50,000 died. It means within the 2 years, you see the total figure of affected or the people who died, who lost their lives due to this particular pandemic. There was a great impact on Persia and Egypt of this pandemic, and due to plague, even Europe, Africa, and Asian continent, 7 crore people were died. 7 crore. You see the figure. It was predicted by history writer or historian. India was impacted till 19th century by this plague, and lakhs of people lost their life. Even fit person who is measure doing exercise in all respect, physically, mentally fit, so that type of person slept in the night, in morning observed death, observed dead. So such a type of thing was there, and 50% of the population of village, 50% population of the taluka place, 50% population of the district place were lost their lives due to this pandemic. And this particular disease was transfused from rat and flea. You know, उंदीर आणि पिसा ह्याच्यामुळे तो रोग पसरला होता, आपल्याला सगळ्यांना माहित आहे. आणि त्याला त्याच्यामुळं ब्लॅक डेथ और पेस्ट असं नाव दिलेलं आहे. In this way, we suffered in 1720 from this plague. Now, after 100 years, there is again a cycle of this crisis, cycle of this pandemic, due in the form of cholera. Cholera, which is also called as Haija. Cholera pandemic. First of all, Thailand, Philippines, and Indonesia, it is initiated from these countries. Only on Java Island, there is one Iceland, that is Java, त्याला Java Belt म्हणतो आपण, 1 lakh were died due to this cholera. In the range of 211, India, Middle East, Africa, and East Europe and Russia, it was a maximum spread of cholera 8 lakh people were died. 8 lakh people were died from these countries due to vomiting and diarrhea. But it was very severe symptoms of diarrhea, symptoms of vomiting and diarrhea. After prolonged research, it was found that first time it was entered or it was initiated in Bangladesh, near our India. And in 1920, after again 100 years, 1820 to 1920, there is a pandemic of Spanish flu. There was an attack on world of Spanish flu. 19th century, the virus was very horrifying. Around 1/3 population of the world lost their lives. त्याला असं म्हटलं जातं की अतिशय भयानक अशा प्रकारचा महामारी म्हणजे हॉरिफाईंग पॅन्डेमिक आणि 1/3 of population of the world lost their lives due to this Spanish flu. Spanish flu spread over United States. 2 to 5 crores were dead. It was a virus H1N1. Now again, the question arises regarding the role of chemical sciences. Even H1N1, there was a vaccine, and in that vaccine, there was a use of one nanoparticle, and which is made by a silver nanoparticle. So it was very applicable to cure from this particular disease. It means at every time, whenever there is a crisis, there is a solution from chemical sciences. And that's why we cannot deny the chemical sciences is a shield of pandemic era. Definitely it acts as a shield, or it acts as a protective shield for human life. And I continue, it was transmitted through cough and sneezing. जसं आता आपण म्हणतो की खोकल्यानंतर आणि शिंकल्यानंतर त्याच्यामधून जे काही ड्रॉपलेट्स बाहेर पडतात, म्हणजे ते तोंडावाटे असतील किंवा नाकावाटे असतील. सो दिस इज द मीडियम ऑफ स्प्रेडिंग दिस व्हायरस and maximum impact on Spain. That's why Spanish flu, we are giving, or they have given the name to this particular flu, is a Spanish flu. Now we are suffering from 2020 virus and COVID-19. Why it is called as Corona-19 COVID-19? Because it is first time observed in Wuhan, China, in the year 19, December of 19, first time. So history repeats after 100 years, we can say. 1720, 1820, 1920, and this is 2020. So due to COVID-19 corona pandemic impacted whole world. Wuhan, China state begins the effect of corona. Till date, you see the figures. More than 6 lakh of people were died from world. And that is 1.4 lakh people lost by superpower America also. You see, the America, like superpower, is also not ready to face this particular problem. So they are also impacted very badly. So there is no question arises regarding the other countries those are not superpower, and they are trying their level best. But in general, we can say no country was ready to protect from such a type of pandemic. And this type of pandemic every time gives us a lesson. The human being must be ready to face such a type of problem. But every time the history repeats and there is a loss of human life. There is no alternative at present when we look into the history. This virus is the sequence of, or the spread of this particular virus is having a sequence in number. On the top there is America, next is Brazil, and we are at 3rd position now at present. This is a today's survey. It means 25th of July. Survey gives us idea we are at 3rd position, and top America is there, even though this is a superpower. And as usual, symptoms are very everybody is aware, that is temperature, cough, throat congestion. these are the major symptoms of COVID-19. Now, when we are talking about the efforts taken by the person or fraternity from chemical sciences and technology, now I put before you some of the developments, recent developments. Those are fighting, those are trying to combat this COVID-19 at their level best. So some examples I put before you as a representative examples. Recently, you might be read somewhere. Yesterday, I was reading Hindu newspaper. So I got some information, recent information. Oxford University, this is a very popular university in the world, prepared a vaccine which is applicable to create immunity as scientists became successful to prepare that particular type of vaccine. And it is going to manufacture in our Maharashtra. This is a very good thing for us. And that is from Serum Institute, Pune. And it was announced by Adar Poonawalla recently. And what he said? He said lakhs of doses will be made available for affected people. In the human body, how immunity is increased, they got the good result recently. This is the conclusion of this vaccine, which vaccine they are going to produce for the nation, for the world. And this study is already published in very popular journal, that is Lancet. Oxford Jenner Institute director, Dr. Andrin Hill, he said that vaccine it gives positive effect or positive results on whom they have tried their level best to as a test of that vaccine, and they got good results, and there is no any harm to that human being on whom around which volunteers they are doing this particular practical or this particular experiment. Now, as it is very effective on two things, one is increasing of antibodies and another one is T cells. Dr. Jyoti Sharma also talk on this particular issue. So antibodies, to increase antibodies and to increase the effectiveness of T cells. So it is applicable, this vaccine is applicable. And overall, due to this effect, the immunity system increases by this vaccine, and definitely they have concluded that they have proved that it is able to combat or beat coronavirus or COVID-19. 10,000 people from Britain and people from South Africa and Brazil, tests are going on. They are under testing. When they came to conclusion at the last time by taking the community test or community feedback, then they are going to start to serve for the common person or affected person. In America, I will tell you, 30,000 tests are going on for this particular purpose. But actual confirmation, we can say, will be arises after community testing in large number of. It means later on I will tell you how there are phases, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and at what time that vaccine can be transfusion going on for a common person. So definitely they are awaiting the results. Oxford University made agreement with AstraZeneca company also, and they are preparing 2 object doses. You see the figure. It means it is as per the requirement for all over the world. In the last week, it was reported that Moderna company from America manufacture vaccine, which one became much more successful to control spread or the concerned scientist said. So this is also another one report. And in addition to that, Serum Institute made agreement with more number of other companies, that is particularly 4, to prepare the vaccine, not only with Oxford University, but in addition to that, some 4 companies are there. With those, they are having an agreement to prepare a vaccine, and that is like COVAX. You might be aware about recently Bharat Biotech from Hyderabad. They have prepared COVAX as a vaccine against corona or this COVID-19. Even Covivax is also one of the vaccine which is prepared by America. Even Yugoslavia project, we are having some MOUs. Which company from Yugoslavia, they prepared the oral dose of polio or polio vaccine. So with that company also we are having agreement, and where they are looking forward for the progress to manufacture the vaccine. And even central government is behind all these companies. They have announced that 1,000 crore will be provided to Serum Institute. They are not expecting money. They are trying their level best, but central government is also putting their efforts behind such a type of institution. As per the Serum, Cyrus Poonawalla, he said, some scientists, whatever we are taking at the time of our childhood, BCG is also applicable to resist in some extent this particular COVID-19 disease, and they are ready to serve. COVAX, which is Indian made, particularly made by or manufactured by Bharat Biotech, 100% Indian made, not only for nation, but they will try their level best to supply abroad also in very cheap rate, which will be very beneficial to common person or common man, and they are plan to manufacture it. And they are also planning 2 object doses. You see, this type of efforts they are taking. Another one thing I want to put before you regarding this pandemic or pandemic era, America, Russia, Bharat, or we can call it India, and even China working on this target. Which target? To produce the vaccine or to produce the medicine, to produce the drug. But this is not the competition. No one is in that mode. No any country is in that mode. But everyone is trying to have an interaction with one another and result which can protect the world from COVID-19 or coronavirus, and they are looking forward very positively. Poonawalla said this is not competition. Everyone is having a very nice association with one another, and this is a time to come together. This is not a time to have a competition. Demand and supply is our task for next 2 to 3 years. Around 150 institutions, company working in vaccine. Overall in the world, 150 companies, they are fully concentrating on this particular issue. Even Zydac Cadila, you might be aware about this very popular company of pharmaceuticals. Member of Niti Aayog, Dr. V.K. Paul, said recently, up to 15th August will be available Covaxin. In the next month, mid of next month, this Covaxin will be made available for the patients. That is Covaxin, which is prepared by the Bharat Biotech India Limited. And after all, the quality of vaccine depends upon the sustainability and the words stable immunity and resistance to virus, and by giving the minimum doses. So this is actually of or quality of this any type of vaccine. Less amount of vaccine is required to cure the disease, and that is the standardization basically. Even though there is a particular process, and that process we must be aware about which process are required to come in the practice any type of drug or any type of vaccine. So generally there are 4 type of testings, 4 phases of testing. Phase 1 is they are treating or they are experimenting on 20 to 80 human tests first of all, and if they are having a positive results, so we are already crossed this particular step. phase 2 is they are treating volunteers 100, few hundreds, you can say, means some 1000 or around that particular figure. And phase 3 is few thousand volunteers must be tested by producing or by transfusing this vaccine. And if even though we are getting good results, there is a phase 4, and that is vaccine when introduced in market, and we are getting the feedback from the society, feedback from the nation, feedback from the world. So that is the final phase. And once it is, this vaccine is very applicable, there is no side effect, there is no any adverse effect on human being, there is no adverse effect on volunteers, on which volunteers they have treated this particular vaccine. And then there is a huge manufacturing and huge supply directly in the market. And with the survey, I will put before you another one thing, which is already carried out in Delhi. With the survey of Delhi, that is particularly known as serological survey. And for what purpose this is a survey? Which showing that 20.86% of residents from Delhi have developed antibodies against COVID-19. So they are taking the blood sample of randomly of the people, and they are tested. They have tested already, and they confirm, they got the conclusion. Out of that, 22.86 people, they have already suffered from corona. They are already suffered from COVID-19, and they recovered themselves. Whenever virus entered in the body, simultaneously there is a creation of antibodies. If that person is having good immunity, good resistance, physically fit, they created antibodies. And likewise, in Delhi, whatever they are having a survey, 22.86% of people, they have already recovered, but they don't know they have suffered from coronavirus. So such a type of immunity is there, natural built-up immunity is there, and it is observed due to the presence of antibodies available in the particular type of human being. And the next thing which we are expecting, not only in Delhi, but in all cosmopolitan cities and all the cities which comes under the red zone, that is known as herd immunity. So you might be having the meaning of herd immunity. And many scientists, they have predicted that most of the people, they may have created herd immunity. So one doctor is there, that is Jay Prakash Mulil, who is an epidemiology and who is a former principal of Christian Medical College, Vellore. He said this seroprevalence in Delhi is decently high. This particular percentage of recovery of human being from this crisis, it is decently high. Decently high means it is a very, we can say, very great results or better results as per his views. And it was expected in the city. It was expected in the city, not only in Delhi, but even Mumbai or some other cities of our country. And he is having confidence immunity will be long lasting. This immunity is not a while, not for a while. So it will remain as it is for long while, just like we have already transfused by BCG, polio, MMR, and some other vaccines. And till date, that particular vaccine is having an effect. And such a type of long-lasting effect it will give. It is a confidence of that concerned scientist. And people who were infected by SARS. So earlier disease was SARS, CoV-2. SARS, you might be knowing, that is severe acute respiratory syndrome. This is one infection, acute infection in the body. Virus had immunity against the virus for a long time, and this is cousin of SARS. It is said that this COVID-19 is a cousin of SARS. So the people all over the world, they recovered from SARS CoV-2. So likewise, definitely people will be protected by such a type of medicine, such a type of vaccine after transfusing in the body. So they will get recovered because COVID-19 is SARS. So this is a cousin of SARS. And it means that 22.86 of Delhi population has been infected and they have developed antibodies and recovered 100% as a fit person. And he added another one thing, that an urban area, about 50% of the people, if any city is having 1 lakh population, so out of that 50% means 50,000 of people have to be injected by the virus and develop antibodies to attain herd immunity. So this is known as herd immunity. They are injecting only 50%, not 100%, and they are creating immunity. And in a few weeks, Delhi will attain herd immunity, he said. So this is their prediction, and they are having a very nice confidence regarding increasing the immunity. The pandemic will change the world forever. We all are suppressed. We all are impacted very badly. There is no particular region, no particular locality, or no particular nation. All over the world, everything is impacted. And that's why the pandemic will change the world forever. It will strengthen the state and nationalism. What does it mean? Because we all are coming together for this particular cause, and we are taking whatever efforts, maybe less efforts or very little meager amount of efforts we are taking, but we are involved in this fighting. Whole world is fighting against COVID-19, and that's why this is a time to have come together without any type of dispute. Every person, every citizen of India, every citizen of any particular country, they are involved to fight against COVID-19 and coronavirus. Definitely, we are having a lot of challenges, and it is said that even right from Prime Minister of India and all intellectuals, they are saying that challenges must be transformed into opportunity. If you accept this challenge and find some opportunities in this crisis, and it is possible, I will put before you what are the factors, which factors are applicable to transform challenges into opportunities. In short, I put before you 10 technology to fight against corona. Artificial intelligence, I will not go in detail. AI, we can call it as AI, which is computer related technology. Blockchain, open source technology, telehealth technology, gene editing technology, nanotechnology. So now if we are talking about nanotechnology, is one of the important factor, and which is very related to chemical sciences. If we see mask, so on that mask at present, many manufacturers, they are using biodegradable material which is available in the farm, and they are preparing the mask. Even in market, whatever masks are available, on that mask there is a thin layer, and that is of nanoparticles. That is, it means nanotechnology or chemical sciences. Even you look to any equipment, just like injectables, Dr. Jyoti Sharma showed that slide. A lot of equipments are there, lot of materials are there. So everything is from chemistry. Even PPE kit, our doctors and our police department personnel, they are using PPE kit to protect from COVID-19 because they are always associated with the COVID. So on that kit also there is a very thin coating of nanomaterial, particular type. Goggles are there, hand gloves are there. So every type of material, there is a important role of chemistry. Madam said many of the things, I will not go in detail about that, but nanotechnology aspect is a very significant aspect to combat this COVID-19. Maybe you can take example of sanitizer. What is there? In sanitizer, there is a ethyl alcohol in most of the quantity. there is aldehyde, there is a phenol, there is a chlorides, there is a halogens. So all type of chemicals are applicable everywhere in this aspect. Even biodegradable material with the help of chemical sciences. Even you can take the example of nano robots or even nano medicine also. It is a very applicable to combat this crisis. Seventh factor is synthetic biology. Okay, and then drone. You might be observing somewhere with the help of drone, they are capturing the pictures, they are capturing the photographs. Even robots in hospitals, you might be seen on the television with the help of robots who are producing medicine, who are producing food. It is required to the patient of COVID. So instead of entering in the human being, we are using robots. So that is also one of the important factor. And three-dimensional printing technology is also there, which can combat this issue. At present, you might have one question. As on today, not in our country, but all over the world, there is no medicine, there is no drug, there is no vaccine available. Then how patients are recovered? Really, this is a magic, because lot of efforts, our doctors, our nurses, they are taking on that patient. And whatever is required to improve the immunity and resistance of that human body, they are trying their level best. And patient is coming out from this particular issue. Maybe hydrochloroquine, you might be aware about this drug. Then whatever drug was produced to the earlier patient in earlier 2-3 months, that is remdesivir, it was also the injection which can cure from this coronavirus or COVID-19. But as on today, this question is having answer. Doctor increasing tremendously the immunity in the human body by producing a particular medicine. They are controlling temperature, they are controlling coughing, they are controlling sneezing, and accordingly after few days that patient increases its antibodies in some extent and immunity overall, that is in the form of T cell. So it is become possible. Now in this scenario, how much time is for me again? 5-10 minutes are there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Within 5 to 10 minutes, I will conclude.
Okay, sir. No problem.
Yes, sir. I will put before you some of the quotation from great eminent personalities from India. You might be knowing the name of Padma Vibhushan, Bharat Ratna, Padma Vibhushan, Professor M.M. Sharma, who was earlier ex-director of UTCT and presently it is known as ICT Mumbai. So he was talking recently, we must become world class and we have to be better in the best. And it is transferred to the self-reliant. And this is a need of an hour. We'll have to concentrate on research, we'll have to concentrate on technology. And why this particular statement is relevant in this scenario, you try to understand the conclusion of that particular statement. When this pandemic entered in the world, no country was ready. Even China was not ready, America was not ready, India was not ready. No medicine was available, even no mask was available, no sanitizer was available in the country. So this type of unpreparedness is very dangerous for our future. And we cannot say such a type of pandemic will not enter again after 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, or 100 years. Maybe there is a great possibility. If we look into the history, every 100 years such a type of pandemic arises. And human being must be ready. In that sense, this statement is very ready, very essential or very significant. I will quote the statement of another one great scientist, Bharat Ratna, Professor C.N.R. Rao. And he has recently said that the human intelligence and determination can defeat COVID-19. We will come out. because all this fraternity, they are fighting against it. He said further, we must be interested for several insights and key points regarding this particular type of discussion, and which is related to research and technology in a post-COVID world. What will be after post-COVID? This is the present tense, but what is about the post-COVID scenario? And he said, you look to 50 years ahead, not only 2-3 years. And scientists of the country, he suggested, they must be engaged, should engage the 3 type of research. And he suggested which 3 type of research which can survive from such a type of pandemic if it will be happening in future. One is frontiers of science to combat COVID-19 directly in the present situation. This is the first factor or first suggestion. Second suggestion is improving important section of India. Very important section. Which are these? Health sector is also there. Then pharmaceutical sector is also there. So such a type of very important sectors must be improved. And third one is domain where India has potential to beat the rest of in the top. So we'll have to find out which sectors are having a very good potential, and that type of sector we must have strengthened to go on top of the world. And he also urged to government. This is also very important suggestions to the government by Bharat Ratna Professor C.N.R. Rao. And he said, government have to spend or invest more and more money on science and technology. And that is at least 2% of its GDP, whatever GDP of that country is there, or India. So out of that 2% must be invest on science and technology field, and that is for the promotion of these field. Promote science and technology research. The government that to put 20 on present budget. It's his expectation actually. Another one thing I will quote Professor Ashutosh Sharma. Recently he was talking, and who is Secretary of Department of Science and Technology. What he said? He said COVID-19 taught mankind to adopt a problem-centric approach rather than approach. So every researcher must concentrate on the problem-centric approach. And another one thing, it is very important on this scenario, on this occasion. Yes, Chandrasekhar is a great scientist, and at present who is the director of CSIR lab, IICT Hyderabad. What he said? He said, COVID era, the pursuit of science should be making the people future ready. Every human being must be ready, particularly the fraternity of science and technology, and it is in need of an hour. And which is related to this pharmaceutical aspect. Another one director of NIPER Hyderabad, Shashibala Singh, recently she said that Indian R&D sector was very vibrant and has the capability to be a self-reliant as per the expectation of government level as well as the bureaucrats of India. And in this way, we will have to look to become a self-reliant in all respect. In what sense she was talking? Even today also, 75% of raw material is in India to manufacture different type of drugs. So this is the scenario. Without that importing material, we are unable to manufacture any type of drug. Even for manufacturing crocin or paracetamol or aspirin, such a type of tablets are prepared due to the raw material which is imported from China. So in that sense, at what stage we are, and we will have to look at what stage. So she told this particular sentence, to become self-reliance or self-reliant. It is not easy task, but everybody should try their level best. Actually, I wanted to put before you the figures of today's scenario of death figure, but due to constraint of time, I dropped that. But I will tell you, as on today, the recent figure of world level of death number is, I will tell you, 6,30,000 deaths were occurred due to this pandemic. And out of that, even superpower like America, they have lost 1,50,000 people by this pandemic. And at present, at world level, if you are asking what patients which is affected by this COVID-19 or coronavirus, so at world level, the number of patients affected by this virus is 1,53,71,836. This is the today's figure. So you see how it is spread like anything. And definitely the fraternity of science and technology, they are trying their level best how to control it. And definitely they became successful to control the rate of spread. And even today they have announced the recovery rate is also tremendously increased, and that is up to 56%. And even mortality rate is also very less with comparison to the other nation in the world level. So that's why we hope we'll be coming out very soon, and we'll be having effective vaccine after few days or few months in our hand, so that we can combat this coronavirus as well as COVID-19. So in this way, I conclude my talk. And once again, I thank the management of MSc Mandals, Art, Science and Commerce College, Kille-Dharur. Yes, I am very happy to interact on this particular dais. Once again, I said, organizing team of this Dharur College, including principal, convener, and all the faculties, those are taking efforts to organize this webinar, national webinar. And I thank audience for patience of listening me for 1 hour. Thanks one and all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Suresh Gaikwad sir, for giving a nice talk on role of chemical sciences against this COVID-19 or pandemic. He has focused on the present situation of pandemic and past situation of the pandemic, and he has also focused how the chemical sciences that plays a key role against this pandemic. Not only India is suffering, but also all over world is suffering from this pandemic. He also focused on the nanotechnology, how it plays a key role in this pandemic. Drugs they are using against this 19. He given a nice information about COVID-19 and in the past as well as in the present situation. So thank you, Dr. Suresh Gaikwad sir. Now this talk is open for the discussion. The participants are requested to ask any doubt, any question regarding this talk. Please. We will wait for 2 minutes. Any doubt, any question, you please write your question in the box. In the chat box, you please write your question, please. Or you can raise your hands.
Hello. ठीक है, सांगतो.
I hope that there is no question about this talk. If anybody question, you please write your question in the chat box. We will take down your question or any doubt. And after the conclusion of the third session, we will discuss about your doubt or your question. So thank you, Dr. Gaikwad sir. Now we'll proceed towards third session. We have third resource person, Professor Dr. Sheshnath Bhosle sir. Sheshnath Bhosle sir, please join with us.
I'm already there.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, Professor Dr. Sheshnath Bhosle sir, who is working as a UGC FRP professor, FRSC, MR, ACI, ARC Future Fellow, School of Chemical Sciences, Goa, University, Goa. Welcome on behalf of Art, Commerce and Science College, Kille-Dharur. Before to start his talk, I just introduce him. He is a editorial board member of Chemistry and Open MDPI Journal, Sensors, especially chemical sensors and molecules. He is a guest editor of special issue journals, that is molecules, nanomaterials, sensors, chemosensors, and symmetry. With this brief introduction, we have such an eminent personality, Professor Dr. Sheshnath Bhosle sir. He will deliver his talk, and title of his talk is Concept Transfer from Nature for Real Life Application. So I request Professor Dr. Sheshnath Bhosle sir to deliver his talk. Please, sir, proceed.
Hello.
Okay, sir. Okay.
You can hear me.
Audible, sir.
Okay. That was the title you mentioned. It is a good title, but what I thought, can we change the title towards the real health issue? That's why I changed it, role of supermolecular chemistry for real world application. Now, what is real world application? Like you heard about Suresh Gaikwad, Professor Suresh Gaikwad, Sir Sharma ma'am, everyone saying about this is a COVID-19 pandemic situation and everyone is suffering. But problem with this, like people are taking too much serious. And some people are not taking too much serious. That's the problem. That's why it is spreading. Like when I saw or when I heard, like when our Prime Minister said we will be closing down for one day on 21st or 22nd March. That day we had only 538 COVID patients. But now you can see that it's increasing and increasing. That's why people are not taking precaution. That is the most important. Now Professor Suresh Gaikwad sir told us there is vaccine, everything is there. I will tell you that there is a HIV from last maybe 20-30 years. Still we don't have vaccine to cure the HIV. We have the vaccine to suppress the things. Like we cannot trust like until it go through all the scenarios. It's very important to have the all testing happen. This is a first stage, second stage, third stage, because that might cause two problem to our kidney and so on. It's a good thing. Like if you get vaccine, it will be very good. And if some people involved in the drugs, it is also very important, because only vaccine cannot focus in this area, because it's we don't know whether that is really giving a bad effect to the other organs and so on. I will take you through my development, my research area, as well as I will give you some brief idea about my research work. Before that, I start with thanking my student because we always forget to who work for us. This is my group now left hand side here. This is my group from the Goa University, and I was in RMIT. This is a group from my RMIT. They already qualified the PhDs. Now one of them is still working in RMIT. I have the adjunct faculty there. Also thanks couple of postdoc fellows who also work for me, like importantly Asha Jangle, who work here for 1 year as a DS Kotari fellow, and there are many more people working with me now. Currently I have 6 PhD, you can see here, towards a variety of applications. It's not about only think about COVID. Now what a media and what a government or what people is thinking, only COVID is the most important factor. And what happened to those heart attack people? They dying from many years, like 29-year person dies with a heart attack or kidney failure and so on. There are many diseases like cancer. Now media is not talking about cancer because the COVID become most important for them. Same like I will give you one example. Few weeks ago there was a media saying that there was a war. It might happen war today itself, China and India, and that's why it creates the panic situation for the people. This is a really bad situation because this is a virus. Yeah, it is not really dangerous unless you have the. I will show you the couple of concepts what I put here. I am not following any media. I never go to the news and anything. I follow myself, like precaution is the most important. And also thanks my collaborator because their help. You can see here a lot of people working with me from India as well as Canada, Japan, everywhere. I was in Australia for 11 years as a faculty. I did my PhD from Germany. I was in postdoc in Switzerland. I learned everything like this. It shouldn't be panic situation. Funding agencies, because of them we are here to work. Without money you cannot eat food at home. That's why I must thanks to them as well. And to text towards the COVID, now Professor Gaikwad, Suresh Gaikwad sir told us now there is already vaccine, it is coming. Oxford is telling everything is true. There is millions of vaccine will come, but what happened if you go to my town where we are 1,200 people in one town, we still don't have the electricity for each house. This is the situation in India. Don't expose like we are 130 billion people or 130 crore people and we will get everything. It's not. This is not possible at all. Now people will make this like okay, we'll give this, we'll support this, but it's not possible. Why not? Already they give the electricity or gases to the poor people. Now they giving 5 kilo rice and chana dal, and they saying, okay, we support these poor people. It's not like that. It should be systematic from government. Okay, is there treatment for coronavirus disease? No. So far, no specific treatment. Only what doctor doing is they treating the symptoms. What is symptoms? Like we have cough, we have fever. They treating the symptoms. That's why never believe that we have the treatment for the disease. COVID-19. There were rumors corona disease may be transmitted in not transmitted in a hot climate. It's not like that. Unless someone prove that, you shouldn't believe that we get summer and we will not have corona. It's not like that. It is a disease. No one knows what happened, because if it is the case, it's coming from Wuhan, China. There was a climate different and widespread in Europe, Italy, Spain. And USA is the most affected area. And now in India, we are the hot place. Why still we suffering from that? Now in May, we had the most cases coming out, and it was hot. It is not like that. COVID or virus spread in any climate. Will virus spread through the food? Yes, of course. Because anywhere you touch, that will contain unless until 6 to 8 hours that virus will remain there. That's why don't believe that only respiration or touching something outside will only cause virus. It's not like that. You bring the vegetable or you bring the milk. If someone touch having the coronavirus to those specific items, then you will get that corona. Corona disease is very dangerous to old people. Yes, of course, because they have the many Suresh sir us. Older people is dying like this, and many people dying because they have the other diseases, like they have the high blood pressure, they have heart problems, they have diabetes, and those people will suffer definitely. If you are the young, if you are strong, if you have the good immune power, then you will not have to be afraid with corona. Only thing, take precaution not to go around and say, okay, we don't get corona. That can come to anyone. This is most important. Okay. Now this is a new disease. There is no vaccine until one develop. Now there is a development happening, but it has to go through the third stage. Unless government decide, okay, we'll give this, whatever happen, and a person will take and the COVID patient will say, okay, whatever will happen until I die, I got the vaccine. And then we will give that patient. But unless you go through the third stage, you cannot give this vaccine to anyone. Because vaccine need to develop not only having the antibodies, we need to have the vaccine with the T cells. What happened? Now one patient has the corona. Let's suppose I don't have corona and give the vaccine. Now corona come to me, only that antibody attack on that virus and they kill the virus and the antibody leaves the body. But if you have the T cells, now Oxford is developing it can be dual effect, but we never know unless it proves. That is most important. T cell is most important because it is like a BCG or other vaccines we took it earlier. What we did, the BCG or those vaccines, we had the T cells and those remains in the body. Whenever virus attack on our body, what they do, the T cells generate the antibody and attack on the virus. This is most important. And there is still like not only focus on the because we are a big community of scientists in India or worldwide, and India is having the good scientists. They should focus not only on vaccines, because how many people will focus on vaccine, but there are a big opportunity like already US are using hydroxychloroquine, this type of small drug molecule to cure or to suppress the virus. But there are big opportunity for the people who is working in a small university. They can synthesize small drug molecule. Like Sharma ma'am told us, like there are 75,000 or 7,000, whatever she said, I forgot that number. But there are still big opportunity. Why not we functionalize this molecule which target to the specific cell and so on. This is another opportunity for new young generation who can work in as a scientist. Can antibiotics? No, antibiotics. Antibiotics do not work against viruses because it is a virus. It is not a bacteria. That's why antibiotics cannot work. However, what we tried recently we sent the sample to the Vietnam, where we have this copper. As Sharma ma'am told us, when you if you put the copper particles or copper nanoparticles on the surface of your gloves or surface of your mask, they can kill the virus. Yeah, or avoid the virus to enter inside or through your gloves or mask. Here what we did, we thought, can we interact antibiotics with copper to develop such kind of supramolecular structures? Yes, we got this flower-like structure having the surface to volume ratio very high, which we use for the photocatalysis application later on. But this is not working because antibiotic cannot work for the coronavirus. This is just to give hint for the researcher, shouldn't think about using antibiotics for the virus. Do not panic. This is the most important thing I want to tell everyone, because I'm a scientist. There are HIV/AIDS, everyone knows that globally 32 million people have been died of HIV, and 75 million people have been infected with HIV. And see, lakh people, this is nothing than if you think about the HIV/AIDS, and still we don't have vaccine for HIV/AIDS. We have those two vaccines for this. We use in Africa mostly. It's from lupin and ranbix, I think. I forgot the name. But these are only suppressing the HIV, not to transfer. That's why do not panic with the virus. Only thing, take your precaution. Pneumonia, now singlest largest cause of death in children worldwide. Every year it kills an estimated 1.4 million children under the age of 5 years. How you think about this pneumonia with our virus? This is a panic situation. People take it like a very badly, like media saying that this and that. Someone yesterday saying that use my papadam, some amdar or khasdar from somewhere Rajasthan or somewhere. He's saying use my papadam, it cure the virus. And someone say that I already developed the vaccine, and the next day saying it is not true. It is I just say something else. It is not like that. That's why do not panic. Last line you can read that unless you have some other issues like diabetes, BP, liver issues, kidney problem. Rest it is virus. We can tackle easily with this following guideline. Everyone should wear mask time to time. You should wash your hands because and use the sanitizer. Because you before you touching anything, you just put in your pocket small bottle like this. Like this, I always use it. Before even I touch my computer, I always put on my hand, and then that's it. Don't have to worry too much unless you have the serious other problems. Taking water vapor, now recently many people who is working in the small areas like backward areas, I don't want to say that word, but it's the areas where slum areas, we call it slum dog movie, you've seen that. Such areas, people going there, before they go there, they're taking the water vapors, because the entrance of virus inside the body from nose or from mouth takes 4 days to reach to our lungs. Before that, if you take the vapors, what can happen, like 60 to 70 degree vapors that can dissolve or disperse those and can go out from our body. That's one thing we can do. This another, oh, not mine. Sorry. That's what we can do. That's why we shouldn't panic. Now, I already told you about media, like there was a Amitabh Bachchan got virus. Someone was calling from her underneath bed saying that Amitabh took jalebi, idli, dosa. This is a crazy situation. People shouldn't make this like some panic situation to the real normal people. That's why it should be treated as a nicely, saying that media should say that, okay, there are billions of people getting virus, but there are a cure like 60%, almost 60% people is curing from this virus. That's why it is not a really panic situation. But the only thing is avoid this situation, because if you are getting this virus, then you have to be away from your family. That is very panic than the other situation. Now, what happening here, you can see the bill here. I just put it. I don't want to disclose any names. The bill about 3,55,595 rupees. If you see the pharmacy charges, 405 rupees. Isn't it crazy? We said doctors are gone, medicine is everything, and police are everything. But now 405 rupees medicine. What they giving? Vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D, and they saying we use a PPE kit which cost 2,40,000 rupees. Can they use PPE kit for each and every patient differently? Now they might be putting same bill for all the people. That's why they shouldn't do this business. That's my always request to them. No vaccine, medicine yet on corona. It's kind of a science. It is still has to develop. And then how the people are treating the patients. Then we can eat our own home, like bring the vitamin C, vitamin D. We take precaution. We take water vapor. We cure ourselves. Stay away from family for certain days. It can be cured. Why you need to go hospital? If you go hospital, this is the situation. This is the day situation. I heard that 19 lakh rupees has been passed to the one patient in America who was 85-year-old. Without any particular medicine, vaccine, then also bills is lakh of rupees. It is a commerce. Because once science is not there, but they're taking the patient in the hospital and they're charging this. That is a commerce. And then finally payment recovery become as an art. They know how to get the money. Okay, that's not my area, but this we should be taking precaution ourselves, not to panic. Do not panic anyone. This is a normal virus. We should take a precaution, not touching anything. Whenever you hand with your sanitizer, put your gloves or mask always all the time. If you are coming close to any person, don't wear gloves all the time, like running around and wearing gloves like you jogging something at home and wearing gloves. Your mask is not a factor, or it is not good thing, because it can, like, your carbon dioxide itself goes inside, then your oxygen level will go down and you will already cause the attack situation. That's why whenever you are going outside, you meeting someone or someone is coming close to you, wear your mask and take a precaution. Okay, this is my idea. I hope you like it. At the end, if you have any question, I'm happy to answer. My group is working on the supramolecular chemistry. What is the supramolecular chemistry? Utilizing concept from nature. What is the concept? Because only now everyone focus on the COVID-19 or this virus, coronavirus. But what happened with those cancer patients? Now they're not dying. What happened with those getting heart attack people? They're not dying. They're also dying. Once you go in hospital, if you have the BP or you have the other symptom, you will get this corona. Definitely, that's the situation. Our group is working like photosynthesis. What happened in the photosynthesis system, post-ghost chemistry, receptor, ion channel. These are the most important essential concepts coming from nature. And you can read this at the end. There is still long way to go. Our aim is to learn from nature and use this knowledge to explore the new frontiers. Because this is old. We think this virus, that virus. This is old story coming at the new place and new way. This is old thing. But everything happened. Like if you read about Darwin's rule, my wife's brother told me what Darwin's rule say. You should read it. I don't want to explain more about that because I just want to show you some good structure what we're working on. Darwin's rule say is a person born and reappear, like a regenerate. This is the way of life. That's why you should read the Darwin's rule. That's why do not panic for anything. Now I will take further. Now, when you're synthesizing any molecules with carbon-carbon bond formation, paleotoxin is the biggest molecule. You can see that paleotoxin is the biggest molecule has been synthesized so far, which is a 1 nanometer scale. But if you want to reach at the supramolecular level or natural level, where nature uses like a bacteria, viruses, wires, visible, nuclear, even tobacco, Moscow virus. This tobacco Moscow virus also very dangerous. Now we never thought about that. We always use tobacco, we smoke the cigarette. It is a very dangerous virus. Now we never thought about that. How many people died with this eating gutka, eating tobacco? Many people died. If you go to the Barsi or this hospital, there are lakho people are there. In Marathi, I want to tell you. Because we take this very. Now this virus is coming very bad, but we shouldn't panic. That's my important. And my group working on to reach towards the biological level. How we can reach? This is just want to bring this concept for new young stars. What we do when you synthesize one drug molecule, you have the covalent bond, like you use a Suzuki reaction, steel coupling reaction, carbon-carbon formation, carbon-hydrogen formation, heterocycles to make a drug molecule. But what our group is using, we have this molecule benzene ring. Let's suppose one structure, we make the small receptor sites, and then once you have receptor site, then other molecule can come there close together. It is like a natural phenomenon. In nature, there is no covalent bond. There is always single molecule interacting with other molecule with hydrogen bond, carbon-carbon hydrogen bond, metal carbon bond, and so on. That's why molecular biggest structure at the natural level, we can use this simple system where we have receptor, make complexation, then which can have the recognition site. I will tell you the recognition site means once you have the high BP, what we do, what happening there? We have the respiratory system, and now we have the cells inside the body. What happened there? Why doctor said don't use too much meat or sodium chloride? They try to ask us avoid using the sodium chloride because it creates the sodium channel inside the cells. That's why our BP goes high. And if you use, this is my best suggestion. If you use Every day, one banana morning, I am sure like 10% of our young old people here, 50 year above people having the high BP and diabetes. And then use every day one banana which has the high magnesium and a high calcium ratio. Everyone knows that. But who will go bring banana? Once you go there, bring 12 banana, everyone eat, that's it. But who is having the diabetes, who is having the high BP, they should use every day one banana morning. What will happen? The channel of cells, it reverses. And then it becomes the calcium channel rather than the sodium channel. And then your BP will be normal. This is the thing what we learn from recognition side, and we can make the bigger structure. I will show the beautiful structure. I don't want to talk too much. There are many things I want to explore. Now this is one of the best example I can tell you. This is the photosynthetic reaction center of purple bacteria, or even in a green plant. If you take the leaves, how the fruit production takes place, no one knows. Our sunlight come, water is there, we get the fruit, we eat the apple, we eat the banana, we eat the mango, but we don't know how the creation happened. Here is the same one example is bacterochlorophyll, where you have the bacterochlorophyll, no, this is purple bacteria, we have the bacterochlorophyll, bacteriophobactin, quinone, and quinone. You can see that, quinone and quinone. When light comes from the sun, then it excites this. Many of you might know the Jablonski diagram. Excite the base bacterochlorophyll, base porphyrin bacterochlorophyll in the system, and then electron transfer and electron transfer. And within that time, before recombination of electron, food production takes place. Simple system. And to understand this system, there are many people using to arrange this such a type of molecule, like people use a carbon nanotube, they use a nanovels, Dept wells, and many things they use. But problem here, bacterochlorophyll having the bacteriophobactin having different redox potential, quinine having the different redox potential. Not going in detail. If you want to arrange such a system, we need to have such a arrangement, redox potential arrangement. Here people use many systems, but they fail to arrange the molecule like such a different redox potential. We come up with the idea, we call it Yacht well. You can see here Yacht well. I will go through these four particular areas, and if time concern, I think this is a time for lunch, but no one is providing lunch. Even they don't provide me some money as well, but I hope you will be enjoying my lecture now. Okay, what we did, Yacht system, we have the iron particle, we have the magnetic nanoparticle. You know the magnet, you bring the magnet, you can, magnet, small magnet, if you bring, the iron will stick to that part, magnet. Similar here, what we did, we synthesize this magnetic nanoparticle, we cover this with a hydroxy silica particle, we become the hydroxy group. Then we react with APTS. We react with the APTS to become the amino group. Once we become the amino group, one porphyrin, we have the acyl chloride. Simple amide-acyl reaction, everyone knows that. Amide-acyl reaction, we have the base porphyrin, this one porphyrin here, and then we make the walls around this porphyrin. What is this wall around porphyrin? This is we have the base on the आपली विहीर असते, विहिरीला बेस असतो, मग त्याच्या भोवताली आपण वॉल तयार केली ते सगळं खडक फोडून. We prepare this walls around this porphyrin. Then how we can measure this? Very simple, similar system like I mentioned that Jablonski diagram. When you excite this base porphyrin, bottom porphyrin, it emits the light. You can see the fluorescence here. But when you add the culture molecule, like when you see the purple bacteria, it having the different redox potential. This molecule, 2.2 nanometer molecule, goes inside and quenches fluorescence. Quenches means once it enters inside, same size porphyrin goes inside and taking up energy from the base porphyrin. And that means that this base porphyrin doesn't have any energy or it loses the energy. However, adding higher size porphyrin goes inside, does not go inside, you can see the fluorescence remain intact. This is a bit complicated story. I just want to take you further what application we can do with this actually. Now, simple Michael addition reaction, when we have the walls, having the double bond. We did the positive rings, Michael addition reaction to the double bond. We got the positive ring around that. And then added negative charge porphyrin stick there. We can vary the distance between these two porphyrin with 0.5 nanometer, 1 nanometer, 1.5 nanometer distance. This is one of the best example where we are able to arrange the molecule similar to the natural system without covalent bond. Now this system can be developed on the gold particles. Important thing what we found out, when you add the same size porphyrin, means same दगड जर त्या विहिरीमध्ये टाकला सेम साईजचा तर जायला वेळ लागतो कारण का त्याच्यामधलं पाणी बाहेर पडावं लागतं खाली टेकेपर्यंत. Same thing here. When you add the same size porphyrin, it taking 10,000 seconds to reach at the bottom. And this is the most important. And taking advantage from that, you can see that depending on the molecule, it can enter slowly or bit faster, depending on the using ethanol, chloroform, and water. And now taken advantage from that, we are able to, this is the first system we are able to arrange ABCD, ACBD, ADBD, AD, and ADCD. Yeah, we are able to attach this molecule without covalent bond similar to the natural purple bacteria or green plant. This is the final example. You can see that final example, you can see that we are able to mimic. That was our aim. We also use our system as a receptor for the fluorine molecule. Fluorine molecule has been used for many years as an electron acceptor, but this molecule is very it's made up of carbon. And then people use a toluene or benzene to dissolve this or disperse this. And what we thought, with hydrophobic interaction, can we capture this 60 molecule within the cavity and transport? And then because of this hydrophilic region at the top, we are able to transfer this molecule in the water as well as the organic solvent. Don't want to go in too much detail because I want to show you a couple of good important things because I want to bring some young scientists in this field. What WNC diagram tell us, you can see here best thing system. If you irradiate this or give the light to the base porphyrin, it emits the light. If you add the culture molecule, it take up the energy from base porphyrin, don't emit the light. If you add the small molecule inside like C60 or other molecule inside, it does not go, the culture molecule, the Q does not go inside, and then you can see the light. Now from this, that was the hydrophobic actual, hydrophilic, everyone knows that water loving, water rating. Then can we make the hydrophilic actual? Yes, we were able to make hydrophobic actual with the only carbon chains, can produce hydrophobic surface. Having the oxygen atom inside this chain can prepare a hydrophilic actual. Then when we have the peptide, like amide bonds, we can be able to make the peptide. Important of this, tobramycin is one of the best antibiotic people use or people have been using many years as antibiotic. But problem there, when you send this in the body, what happening in the body would never know. Whether a hydrophilic protein taking up the tobramycin or hydrophobic protein taking up this tobramycin. Then we study this in too much detail about like we study that whether this tobramycin bind, tobramycin bind to the hydrophilic or hydrophobic actual. So we study in detail. If someone is interested, always there is a reference here at the bottom. Please, you should get this paper from me or organizer. If you don't have access, I can send you this paper if someone is interested. Now, there are many systems they use for drug delivery. What is a drug delivery? I will tell you one best example. You know, our Barsi area or many places, there is a doxorubicin or MTZ. These are cancer type of drugs. And those drugs, only 80% drugs, no, 20% drug react to the body, 10 to 20% remain inside the body, causing problem to the other organs. Same thing like if you heard about he went to USA taking all these dosages. This is because the drug should deliver in the targeted areas is most important than the sending the drug in the body, because that can affect to the other organs. We never know, like now say similar here, we focus on the COVID, coronavirus, But problem here, now that patient might have the problem of the heart, the patient might have the diabetes problem, but no one is caring about that. Same thing, when you one patient go to as a cancer patient, people will be focusing on the only cancer. And now they don't care about the kidney problem, and they give the doses of the doxorubicin and so on. There are many systems they use for drug delivery, but those systems fail to achieve the success. We came with the idea, can we use our Activel for a drug delivery? Yes, we were able to put the doxorubicin. This is doxorubicin. You can see this is dox. This is MTZ. We are able to attach our put it inside the cavity and release in the specific set. You can see here, I don't want to go in detail how we included that, but here you can see that you already, I shown you the positive rim, means Activel behind the positive rim, negative charge porphyrin bound there, and here when you add the doxorubicin, it remains inside the cavity, then we have the negative charge porphyrin. pH 4.5, the top porphyrin going out. And then, but the doxorubicin is not coming out. You can see the figure D. Doxo remains inside. I call it dox. And then when you change pH to 7.8, dox is coming out. You can see that clearly here. F depend on the pH, it's dox is releasing. And the good thing about this system, when you use this system after drug releasing, also you see the similar particle. This is important because it's not affecting other organ. But problem here, our dox is coming out in the basic pH. This is very drawback. Our cancer cell are acidic. We need to have the drug which can release in the acidic media. This you can see that dox is releasing in the basic media. We come with the idea, can you use the MTZ? It's a more cheaper drug than the other dox or other drugs. And when we add the MTZ, it goes inside, sit as a dimer on top of each other because it has a hydrophobic surface like a quinone like a structure. Once it is sitting there, you can see here 7.2 pH like a B figure, 7.2 pH 10, it's not coming out from the Activel. Once you change the pH to 3, it's coming out very fast. Now depending on the pH, you can see the figures pH is releasing smoothly. And then what we learn here, we have the magnetic nanoparticle, we have the Activels, we have the MTGel molecule. Now once you send in this body, any patient's body having the cancer, then bring the magnet outside the surface. This is a just hypothesis, it's not already proved, but we are almost there to cure for breast cancer. We are working towards that. Breast cancer is most essential where we started this research. Once you have this, I don't want to put hand here, but once you have the cancer on the hand and bring the magnet outside, because our particles have a magnetic property, then all, if you only inject from the leg, the all particles will come here. Whenever there is acidic cancers, acidic cells, they will enter inside and they kill the cancer. That is a hypothesis, but still we are almost there, 78 to 83% succeed. 87 was my target before, but if you succeed to 93% to selective drug release, we'll be having the Nobel to India. Now that was the actual chemistry. I want to take you the further 10 minutes. Hello? Organizer? No one is there.
Yes, sir, please proceed, sir.
Thank you. Now there is 3 much time. I think it's lunch time, but the Professor Suresh Gaikwad sir took too much time. It's like a media. That's why I waste that time. Okay. Chemistry of core, certain and photolysis material, porphyrin nanostructures. I will be giving some hints like how people can work in this area. Very simple system, simple molecule, small molecule can be utilized for anything. Not only synthesizing or drug molecule, but use this molecule. Like you can see this in non-fluorescent naphthalene diamide known from 1898. Something like that. I forgot, I think 1927 something. This is a molecule has been used, but this molecule is shown to be very deadly molecule, electron acceptor. But when I was doing PhD in 2002 in Germany, the Urtner group from Würzburg, he just did the nucleophilic substitution to this naphthalene ring. He changed the property, and that property changes too much. Now, I already wrote a chemical review about 574 references. already wrote another review in 2008 on this topic. Very interesting molecule. Anyone can use. What I use this molecule in when I joined as a Monash, as a lecturer in Monash University. I wanted to make a simple system. I didn't bring a hard system. Simple system. We use a everyday toothpaste. Ramdev Baba say, our toothpaste, you get this, whatever people say, but can we believe them? Because they write whatever they want. And if they bribe someone, they will put whatever label they want. This is most important. Like, can we make our own molecule and detect the fluoride level? Here you can see that simple molecule. My molecule seeing the fluoride sensing. Only when you bring the 10 toothpaste and put this one drop of this molecule, you don't need 100 gram. You need a 1 milligram. Dissolve in 1 ml of water and put on this all the toothpaste one day. This can be useful for practical as well in a bit for your college. And put that and then say which one having the green. You can see this diagram here, naked eyes. Once you change the color, which one having the higher green, you just throw it. Lighter green might be better. That's how we can, and this can be determined in the ppm level. Calcium, now calcium is the biggest problem. Now I don't know whether milk coming from who having this many buffaloes, who having this many cows. The milk is always there. And that might be like before, like 2 years ago, I heard that in China there was a scam, like they were producing milk from the urea or melamine. If you dissolve 1 gram of melamine, you can produce 1 liter of milk. Melamine cost nothing, like 10 cents. You can consider. And then, if you want to determine calcium in that milk, if you bring like a Goa dairy or other whatever Aditya, all this milk. If you want to determine those is there calcium or fake milk, then you just synthesize this small molecule and then put in the small drop in the 2-3 small tubes and see whether color changes or become the faint. If there is faint, it means there is a calcium in that milk. Otherwise, that is a fake milk coming from melamine or urea. Always, I'm a supramolecular chemist. I want to generate a beautiful structure. That is my aim. Generating a structure is a real beauty. You can see that simple molecule. I can generate like a worm-like structure. You can see that. We can create these hydrophobic, hydrophilic interactions, or with a solvent dependent, we can make the beautiful structures. We can make the vesicular structures, simple changing a hydrophobic chain instead of oligophilic. Now, instead of hydrophobic, if we put the hydrophilic, we can make the vesicular structure. You know, we can make a Baluchet-like structure. You know the Baluchet, you might know that donut-like structure, you can call it. You can make the solvent we use. You can tune the property of molecule. This is a highly optical property having, because this can be used for the solar cell application. There are a variety of application. If you want to ask me a question, I can answer that. Now, if someone want to propose girl, like not teacher, but some boys might want to propose girl with natural flowers, but there is a nature dangerous, because if you go outside, there is corona. Can you make synthesize this small molecule? You can see here we synthesize this molecule, interact with melamine, we make these beautiful flowers. And even we can, that was a joke. It's not like I don't take this home and say, okay, I will synthesize this molecule and make flower for our girlfriend or my wife. It is means we can make the flower-like structure with a simple molecule. I want to show you here, and you can see that growth. Even you can see that how त्या पाकळीमधून जसं फुल येतं ना, हे डी बघा ना, झेंडूचं फुल असं बाहेर येतं, तसं असं सुंदर फुल बाहेर यायचं. इवन यू कॅन ऑब्झर्व दिस इन स्कॅनिंग इलेक्ट्रॉन मायक्रोस्कोपी. That was a झेंडूचं फुलं. You can prepare the गुलाबाचं फुलं. We can make the donor acceptor system, make a beautiful flowers from this donor acceptor systems. Now, litmus paper is the one of the thing we use every day in our lab. You measure the acid, you measure the base, you have to throw that litmus paper, because once you measure acid and you cannot dip in the base to measure again. Here we've shown that our simple molecule can reuse many times, like you can see here, many times we can reuse this acid-base sensing using simple molecule. Means once you make 1 gram of this molecule, it can last for you 10 years in your laboratory. Yeah, this is not in market, but you can make this. Now, आळी माहिती आहे आपल्या सगळ्या तुरीच्या ह्याच्यावर हरभऱ्यावर आळी पडते. Yeah, this is we call it caterpillar. And now we synthesize this simple molecule with my brother in IICT Hyderabad. We have the collaboration there. We synthesize simple molecule. You can see that growth of this caterpillar and similar to the natural caterpillar, like the hierarchical cell assembly happen, and you can see the beautiful structure of the caterpillar. That was a naphthalene diamide. Whenever I get chance, next time I will separate these slides and I will give the more brief for the youngsters. Photoluminescent material become a very interactive or interesting material, because whenever you have the cancer, if you go to the second stage, last stage of second stage, then you cannot come back. If you know the early detection of cancer, very important. This is a most essential phenomenon. Detection of cancer, then means the patient will want to die. This is the thing. We're using this simple molecule to detect the use as a litmus paper. As well as you can see here, we can detect the early cancer detection with a simple molecule. We're working in this area as well, very hard. And we are almost there to reach some beautiful chemistry. You can see here, again, only green zone or cancer cell can be determined with our simple molecule. Again, PI, the purpurinium iodide, has been used for many years to see the, like whenever a person get a cancer or DNA disturbances or DNA fracture happen, then they use a purpurinium iodide to detect that. But you can see that 3 is used by PI. My molecule is much better giving the separation than the PI. And PI shown to be already toxic, but there was no solution for PI. Here we use our molecule to see the fragmentation of DNA. Now, that was another flower. If someone want to propose another flower which having the fluorescent molecule, fluorescence, like I want to say that the proposing everything happen in the dark. Nowadays it won't happen because of this corona. No one want to go out, but still some guys going out. But they can synthesize this simple molecule which can have the higher or bright fluorescence in the dark as well. That was a fluorescent molecule. Perfect nanostructure. We can make the nanostructure like women draw the swastika with our rangoli. Here I use the simple molecule to make the swastika-like structure. I just want to. I went to the. This was I published in 2008. I went to 2010 or 9 one conference in Nuremberg. And I presented this, and there was like a fight happening within the German people, because that was a symbol of you know who was symbolized that Nazi symbol. And then I just took it like a nice swastika, yeah. But people make it an issue of that. We can make the simple chemistry using like a rotation of chemistry. We can make the molecular clock. You can have this porphyrin having the 12 periphery. This rotation can stop using the silver molecule. Means your watch can stop. If you are the tetraethylene ammonium bromide, watch can start because it can take up the silver. We studied this, and even we have the beautiful crystal structure for that. Now this is almost the end. We can make this chlorophyll derivative or the natural source of porphyrin. We can use this system to make the variety of nanostructures. We can make the nanotubes. You can see that depending on the solvent, we can make the nanotubes. Or if we change to the chloroform we can make this nanotube, and we can make this beautiful patches of the giraffe from the simple molecule. This is an actual atomic force microscopy, and these are my cover arts. Like whenever you publish something, so many people will attract towards you. That's why it's not our politician news come in the newspaper, but we have to highlight our research in the cover art where we will be recognized. Now, I'm an editor board of many journals. I just want to put here these 2 journals recently came with the impact factor, symmetry. You can also join you can submit your paper to ChemoSensor. If someone having lacking of some money, you can contact me. I will be advising the editor board or the publisher to avoid the payment of the or give the fee waiver. Now, this is my group, join our multidisciplinary team, where we are using supramolecular and macromolecular chemistry, where we use bio-inspired material like a natural system we can use for sensor, medical application. You've seen the many applications we did. And this is my CV. With this, I thank you all for your listening. And thank you for organizer committee to invite me for webinar. Although you haven't paid me, that's fine. But next time if I come to your college, definitely you have to, at least you have to provide the lunch to the listeners. That is most important. Anyway, now Corona pandemic giving us a bad situation. But anyway, we'll come out from this. Please do not panic from this situation. This is nothing. This is a normal. Like if you get a cough, there is no vaccine yet. Like this is from billion years you can call it. This is no vaccine for this, and vaccine comes, that's fine. It doesn't come, don't panic. Take precaution. This is most important. And thank you very much for your listening.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for delivering a nice talk on COVID-19 treat and cure. Dr. Sheshnath Bhosle sir has delivered in very lucid language and by using some Marathi. He has advised, do not panic. He has compared this COVID-19 with HIV, plague, and pneumonia. He has shown the real fact of COVID-19, that is science, commerce, and arts. He has delivered in very lucid language supramolecular chemistry, and he has shown the simple molecule converted into the rangoli by making a swastik. He also shown the molecular clock on nanomaterials and nanotubes. So thank you, sir, for delivering a nice talk. So this session is open for discussion. Participants are requested to ask any doubt, any question about this talk, please.
How is it?
Participants are requested to raise your hand, please, any doubt about any doubt, or write your question in the chat box, please.
Hello, sir. One of the participant, Machindra Lande, want to ask a question.
Yeah, please. Sir, why we have only 9 participants?
Can zeolite will used in drug delivery system?
Can you explain one more time?
Can zeolite will used in drug delivery system?
Yeah, he asked me this question last webinar as well. Yes, of course. People have been using zeolite. Zeolite is like a silica particle with a smaller hole inside. They also use that. But problem with those system, the zeolite channel is a hydrophobic surface. And once the drug goes inside the zeolite channel, that might cause some too much stacking inside the cavity or zeolite channel. Might be difficult to release the drug from this cavity because there are many compounds coming in the one zeolite channel. Of course, you can use it, but I'm not sure like how efficient that will be. Because our actual system having the only 2 drug molecules. Once you change the pH of the cell pH come, then it has the pH tune and then releases. But zeolite channel is a channel where you have the many molecules inside the channel. How the acidity goes inside the channel and releases all drug molecule. That is some concern. People use that as a publications, but I'm not.
Thank you, sir. Anybody, another participant, you please ask.
My question to the organizer,
Yes, sir.
why we have only 9 to 10 people on the Zoom and other people on the YouTube?
Sir, there may be disturbance from Zoom to YouTube, sir. While giving the lecture,
How
there
they-
may be disturbance from Zoom to YouTube, sir.
No,
Therefore, we have make 2 links for participant YouTube and resource person for on the Zoom.
okay. But they can ask question from the YouTube.
Yes,
Yes, they
in the
can.
chat box, sir, please.
Okay.
Sir, there is one more question
Yeah,
from
please.
Ratndeep Sawant.
Please.
Is it possible to prepare Ashok Chakra with nanomaterials?
Ashok Chakra with nanomaterial. Yeah, of course. Give me the target. That will be my next target. Of course, we have made I will show you that wheel, but we didn't produce the 24, what do you call this? The Ashok Chakra has 24 things, no? Ashok Chakra with the choice. How many lines we have in Ashok Chakra?
24, sir.
Chakra, I didn't show here. We have the 8. Like it is like a ball-like structure. We have only 8 lines there. Of course, we will try that. Definitely. That will be Tiringa.
Thank you, sir. Any other participant?
Professor Surya Gaikwad, sir. Any questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any question? I never had chance to meet you in Aurangabad. I came to Devgiri College.
Okay. When you visited Devagiri College?
There was one conference in 2000, recently, 1 year ago.
Okay, international conference.
Yeah.
I was there actually, but we could not meet.
I met Singte sir, I met Pawar sir, many people I met many conferences, but I never met you. Maybe next time.
You are welcome, sir. You are welcome. You come to the department anytime.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
We'll invite you. We'll invite you definitely.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Hello.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for delivering the nice talk. So, please join Professor Dr. Jyoti Sharma, madam, with us. There are 2 questions about your lecture.
This question is for Dr. Jyoti Sharma, ma'am. Pawan Kadam want to ask that can we use UV light to sterilize the inanimate objects?
Her video is off.
Sharma, ma'am,
Her video is off.
are you there?
I think she's left.
Yeah. She's there. I think her video and mic is off.
She is there. She is there. Join I. She is there, no?
Yes, she is there. Maybe you can call her, no?
Jyoti Sharma, ma'am, please unmute yourself. Hello. Ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Madam, please unmute yourself.
Okay. Now we take next question. This question is for Dr. Gaikwad, sir.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Sunil Tekale wants to know that up to what time vaccination will come into the market?
Actually, I am unable to answer, but as per the confidence and planning of our researcher and scientist, those are working on it. So I have taken the name of most of the scientists in my talk. So somebody is thinking about mid of August, we will be able to achieve this target. And some scientists, they are saying that it is uncertain and it is quite difficult to say within a prescribed time it will make available. But as per the progress which is going on, not only in the nation, not only in the India, but overall world, most of the companies, they are fully focused on the vaccines. And that's why I hope within 5 to 6 months, nation or world will be able to provide, make available a large number of vaccines and large number of doses.
Thank you, sir. Now, I request.
Siddhanath Bhosle sir want to speak something, I think.
Okay, sir. Please proceed, Bhosle sir. Dr. Bhosle sir.
Fine. I'm fine.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I call upon Professor G.D. Sagar to propose the vote of thanks of this webinar. Professor Gopal Sagar to propose the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, friends, honorable dignitaries, distinguished guests, respected principal sir, and dear participants. On behalf of MSP Mandals, Arts, Commerce and Science College, Kille-Dharur, and the organizing committee, I feel immense pleasure to take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks on one-day national webinar on chemical sciences, a perfect shift for human life in pandemic era. I express my deep regards and gratitude to Honorable Sri Prakash Solanke, President Marathwada Shikshan Prasarak Mandal Aurangabad, Honorable Sri Satish Chauhan, Secretary Marathwada Shikshan Prasarak Mandal Aurangabad, Honorable Sri Jaising Bhaiya Solanke, Chief Member College Development Committee, and all Honorable College Development Committee members for encouraging us and providing opportunity to organize such events. I propose vote of thanks to our eminent speaker, Dr. Jyoti Sharma, Head Department of Chemistry, Government Raj Rishi, PG College, Alwar, Rajasthan, who spared the time of her busy schedule and enlightening us with the extremely relevant address. I would like to further extend hearty thanks to Professor Dr. Suresh Gaikwad, Professor and Head Department of Chemistry, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Aurangabad, to deliver informative and fruitful session with us. Also, I would like to express my vote of thanks to Professor Dr. Cheshnath Bhosle, sir, UGC Professor, School of Chemical Sciences, Goa University, Goa, to guiding and inspiring us. Very special thanks to all research persons for accepting our invitation within short notice. I would like specially thanks our principal, Dr. Shivdashir sir, for his guiding support to encourage us. My deep sense of appreciation thanks to all participants who choose to be live with us and attend the webinar with great enthusiasm and made it a successful event. My sincere gratitude also goes to the organizing committee for picking emerging topics that really matter in today's time and pandemic situation. Last but surely not the least, I thank Professor Ananta Gadesu for all the technical support and for helping us to webcast the webinar through YouTube channel. Once again, I thank you all for being with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all. Now this webinar is over. Participants are requested to submit their feedback form soon, and your certificate will be issued only after receiving your feedback form, and the said certificate will be issued within 2 days. So thank you all the participants, resource persons who are joined with us. Thank you once again.
Congratulations organizers for a nice and smooth conduct of national webinar
Thank you.
by your college. Thank you
sir.
once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.